Well, good afternoon and welcome. My name is Barbara Gray from Clarity here in the UK, and this is my good friend Paul Church. I'm sure you're familiar with him too. And we're here at Clarity Towers to keep you company for a couple of hours now, between 3 o'clock and 5 o'clock, and to show you some fabulous new designs and demos, not to mention some superb sale offers. So, Paul.
Yeah, so why we're here today, many of our friends at home are probably aware that Create and Craft are currently not broadcasting live until Tuesday morning. And for how many years now have you been doing the first Sunday of every month?
More than I like to think about. So we decided to just keep it going, keep it flowing, keep it light, keep you entertained. We've got beautiful new designs by Marina Fedotova, which we'd like to showcase today. And I think that you'll be interested. Many of you have already been shopping ahead. Of course. But let's talk about some housekeeping first.
Absolutely.
Like, where can you shop with us? How can you shop with us? Over to Paul.
Okay, so as you'll see at the bottom of the screen, we have our website details, which is claritycrafts.com. If you prefer to speak to somebody, we have our UK call centre, which is being manned today by the lovely Sue, Jazz and Pete. And that telephone number is 01732 868 215. So we also have the lovely Grace.
So Grace is our daughter. She's online in
Barbara's daughter.
My daughter, yeah. She's online all the way from New York, and she'll be on our website. So if you are shopping online and you see a chat, just know it's not a bot. It's our beautiful Grace, and she will be happy to help you there. Then, of course, we've got Jilly.
Yeah.
Jilly's also in the building, ready to help you. And she will be on Facebook Live.
She's monitoring our Facebook messages and our YouTube messages. So if you've got any questions, then Jilly will be filtering those through to us as well.
So if you do have any questions or any messages, do feel free, and we'll be getting them through here.
As well.
Grace is in the building too. Fantastic.
There we go.
So you know it's a real team effort.
It is.
And many thanks for finding us. We're giving our friends a few more minutes just to locate us. But I think, if I'm not mistaken, we're also, big shout out to Lou Withers.
Yeah.
We're also on the Junk Journals Facebook Live.
We've been shared all over the place.
Yeah, there's a lot of love out there at the moment, and it's really marvelous. So a big thanks to everybody.
Very much appreciated.
Yeah,
as well.
It's very much appreciated, and I'm very grateful. We are very grateful for the support.
Absolutely.
So that's pretty much the housekeeping, I think.
Yes, it is on how to order. So if we explain how it's going to work on the screen.
Go for it. Yeah.
So our lovely Jim, who is sitting backstage, he's going to be putting some graphics up on the screen. And I'm sure, for example, Jim will put item number 1. There we go, as if on cue. So you can see to the side of your screen, you have a product code at the top. And underneath, you've got a lovely image of what's on offer. Then underneath, you have that description. So this is the Pergamano Pop-It Sprites and Pixies A6 Square Complete Stamp Collection. Underneath that, you then have the RRP, and you'll notice that that has been striked out because we've got some fantastic savings for you. So next to that, you'll see how much you're saving, and underneath, the price you're going to pay. Now, if you belong to any of the Clarity Craft Clubs, you're also going to receive your 10, 12.5 or 15% discount. Now, it is just the Clarity Craft Clubs. Unfortunately, it doesn't cover any of the Create and Craft Clubs.
Right, well done. So, and as we're going through the new products, you'll see that Jim will be popping up the items on the screen.
Yeah.
Other than that, we've got lots of essentials and what have you, and that's where Grace will be good. Sue and Jazz and Pete on the phones will be able to find them for you, and you will be also calling out the numbers as we go.
So rather than call out the full item code, all you need to do is see there's 5 numbers in there. So for this one, it's 12028. Then all you need to do is type that into the search bar, and that will bring it up. So you haven't got to type all of the STA-CN. And the same if you're going to speak to one of the guys here in the office, just give them that code and they'll be able to bring it up more easily for you.
And the other thing that I was thinking about this early this morning, and I thought, okay, so let's say our friends at home, they go shopping, they go online, they check out, And then an hour into the show, I do something really clever, and you think, oh, I wish I bought that. Right, I want that, but do I want to pay another $3.75 postage because there's a postage charge? I think we're free.
So it's free if you spend over £35 after all your discounts,
Yep.
and I think it's $4.70. Is it $4.75 the postage? No, $3.95, isn't it? $3.95. $3.95.
Yeah, it's not. No,
Yeah.
Don't make it worse than it is. Right, but if you spend over £35, it's free.
It is.
So say you've done that, and then you go in and you want to order something else, and then you think, oh, hang on, I don't want to pay another load of postage. Well, what we'll do is you go ahead and order, don't worry about that, and then afterwards we'll collate all the orders, bunch them all together, and then we'll make sure that you're not paying extra postage if it was included, and then we'll
give you an e-voucher for a credit of whatever shipping is relevant to come back.
We'll just put it on your account as a credit.
Yeah.
So you won't be paying double postage although I don't imagine, but just in case, don't feel that you can't come back because you'll be paying postage twice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Right, so that, my friends, is about all I think
so. That's all.
Let me just check my list.
Yeah.
P&P, how to order, the phones. Any questions, straight through from on Facebook, and Julie will filter them through to us. We're here to keep you company for the next 2 hours.
We can do this.
We can do this. Now, the first thing is, let's have a look at these beautiful Marina Fedotova. Can we move on to the product now?
Yeah, I reckon we can.
Okay, so we've got these fabulous new stamps.
Yes.
So Marina Fedotova, this is the only artwork that we actually buy under license. We license this. Everything else at Clarity, as you know, is original artwork. It's ours. This is the one thing, because we think they're so beautiful, that we actually ask our friend Marina Fedotova to rent them out to us, basically.
And also there was a history with Pergamano before we actually owned Pergamano, wasn't there? Because they were available by the previous owners.
They're so super beautiful and cute, you know, and I don't do cute, but these are, for me, absolutely sublime.
They have that sort of elegance to them, don't
Something
they?
very beautiful about
classy.
them. So you launched them a little while ago as Groovy plates.
Yes.
Right, so they're all available for our parching friends. They're available in Groovy, and now my job is to show you how they work as stamps and also as postcards. So shall we have a look at because they come in 3 different, well, the stamps come in 2 different sizes.
That's right.
I think the first thing to do is look at the larger stamps and the collections.
Okay, so if we change our camera there.
So we're going to look at these now. Okay. Look at this, I know.
I know, this is technology, isn't it? So this is item 2 on our list of items to look at, and this is our Pergamano Pop-It Pixies. Now,
I don't think they are the pixies. I think they're the sprites.
The pixies have hats. These are the sprites. This is a good start. There we go.
So these are the pixies.
Sprites.
Can we just because we've got the pixies on the screen.
Yeah.
So let's move this across and let's make sure that.
There we go.
Oh, and now he's done. Yeah,
the
there we go. So now we've got the pixies, which have got the hats on
screen. That's
right. So you can see here we've got 6 images.
Yes.
6 beautiful stamps in the collection of pixies. So again, we look at the code, and we've got 12024. That's all you need.
That's all you need to put in there. Now these stamps are normally £7.50 each. Okay, so for the complete collection, as we can see on the screen, it would be, we're just going to round up to £1, so it's like £45 normally.
Yeah.
Okay. Now for this special price, you're going to pay £36.
So you're saving £9.
You're saving £9.
So you're saving £9 on this collection.
Yes.
So these ones without the hats, these ones with the hats are called the pixies.
Yes.
Wonderful.
Then we're going to move along. We'll go back to our sprites. There we go.
So the sprites haven't got hats. That's how I remember. So we've got another, don't worry, we'll take a closer look at these in a minute. But here we've got 6 beautiful, sometimes they look a little, they're Christmassy, they're festive.
There's a real mix, isn't there?
They're quite quirky. And all of these are Maeve. We've got Maeve and Meg and Millie. They all begin with M. Our original set was all P's, wasn't it?
P's, they were.
Peggy,
yeah,
Polly.
The Christmas, the flower, and the whimsy collection.
So these ones here are the sprites. And I really like these because they've got the difference. They've got some real chunky little trainers on, and you can see here if there's a stamp. Let me just show you this as well. For example, the frog on the flower is an independent stamp. So if I lift this up, you'll see that that stamp is separate to the actual girl. It's not in one image. So that means that you can take that frog and you can add that to one of the other images. You
that
see,
has
or
that
work it on its
mixability
own.
of the design,
That's
doesn't
right.
it? Yeah. So you've got that same saving if you wanted to go for these, so all 6 of them. So you're only going to pay £36.
Yes.
Okay. However, we know many of our friends at home like to collect, don't we? So you can go for the complete collection.
Both sets of 6.
Both sets of 6. And in addition, you're going to get Mandy. So this is our 13th character. So Mandy's sort of super special. And what you're going to get is you're going to get your £9 saving on your sprites.
Yeah.
You're going to get your £9 saving on your pixies.
Yeah.
You're also going to get Mandy, which is worth £7.50, with an additional £3.50 saving
off the entire collection.
So what that means is you're saving £29 if you go for everything.
Which is like a third, really, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely.
And also, that doesn't include your discount if you're a Clarity Club member.
That's right.
So it's a very good sale price.
Yes,
yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
So these are our small ones, our large
These are the large ones.
The A6
and what I'm going to do now is move on to the smaller sets. So we've got the same again, but in smaller. So these are 2 A5 sets here. Again, we've got the pixies, we've got the sprites. These are what we call A5 sets, and they are considerably smaller, but exactly the same images.
Do you want one of these, Barb? Just
yeah.
To show
So
us a
if you, for
comparison.
example, let me take this one here, and I can show you. If I pop, there's the one that's in the A5, and there's the larger one. So you know, we're an angel company. This means that if you make things to sell, for example, Marina Fedotova has given us permission for you to make things to sell. That's important to know, because sometimes with licensed images, that isn't always the case. So, for example, if you're making things to sell, then perhaps, you know, the larger image is perfect for the center, for the card. This is brilliant for the tag, the envelope, the insert, etc. So this is the other thing is, of course, we're catering to every purse here. So the large collection is an investment. The smaller collection, you've still got all of the little girls, all these fabulous little characters, but for
so
19,
over
to you.
Normally, these are a set on their own would be £19.99, but if you just wanted to go for one set, it's a £3 saving, so it's £16.99
for one
set. However, if you go for both of the A5 sets, remember Mandy from that other collection?
Yeah.
We also have Mandy as well.
Cool.
As a little sort of bonus one.
She's lovely.
So you'd have your £3 saving carried over from each of your A5 sets. Okay. You're going to get Mandy, who's worth £5 thrown in.
Yep.
And then you get an additional £2.50 saving. So that saving overall is £13.49.
So let's have a look on what Jim's popped up on the screen here. Pergamano, Mini Poppet, Sprites and Pixies, A5 stamp collection. In total, normally this would be £40. Yes. I know that. Let's give or take a penny. So it's £31.48, and you get Mandy.
Mandy, absolutely.
So that's very good then.
It is. And we've just had a question from Grace, and one of our friends tuning in. Can we order from abroad?
Of course.
Yes, absolutely. We ship internationally, and there's a standard shipping rate, but we will ship wherever in the world to you.
Yeah, and also we'll take a very good look at what you're paying in shipping, and we'll calculate it. Yeah. So the computer calculates it,
a flat fee.
And then we'll take a look at what you've ordered, and we might pop in a little treat for you too, just to ease the blow.
But yes, no, there's no problem ordering from around the world.
Right, and then the third thing that I wanted to flag up was the postcards.
Yeah.
So if we take a look here, I keep thinking that the cameraman,
I know.
Then I realise I'm the cameraman.
You are the cameraman.
Right. So we've got poppets and in pixies and sprites. Now, the postcards are pretty cool. Let me show you how they work. So what we've got here, for example, these are 5 by 7 inch postcards. We've got a pack of 12. There are 6 different designs. These are very cool. Watch what you get, because these are great if you doodle around them, or for example, you get a large one and then you get a smaller one. You'll get a large one sometimes in landscape, sometimes in portrait. Then you'll get, we offset it a little bit. So now what you're doing is you're able to design around, cut around, use doodle dies around. I will be doing a really cool demo for you using these. These are great for colouring in. When you see the artwork, you'll really get to grips. But you're getting all 6 of the images, and then you're getting them in 2 different sizes in different places on top quality card.
And you've also got a trick to share with us later on during the course of 2 hours, haven't you? With the backdrop stamps using the postcards.
Oh yeah. Yeah, so I'm going to show you a trick using masking tape, and how to, because neither the stamps nor obviously not these either, they don't have masks. Very often, Clarity, we cut masks to fit, but the thing is with this, you see, where do you put the mask? There's so much sketchiness and tiny,
absolutely the type of illustration, isn't it?
Yeah, so I'll show you a trick how to cut your own masks, so then you can decide whether you want to or not.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So those are the postcards, and they come. There's one of each. Can we get them together?
We've got a bundle, because we're heading towards Christmas. We've got a bundle where you get your pixies, your sprites, and your Christmas. And you have a £3.50, £3.60 saving.
Okay.
Those.
So how much do they cost individually?
So they are normally £5.99. If you buy one,
so 6 and 6 is 18.
Absolutely. So if you buy one, you'll get a standard 10% off.
Yeah.
But if you get all of them, then you're only going to be paying £14.38.
And that does not include your club
Any
discount.
Clarity Craft club discounts.
There you go. And the Christmas ones, they're just delightful. And again, it's exactly the same thing, but we decided, since it's so close to Christmas, you might enjoy adding these, because they're very, very usable. They're lovely, aren't they? If you like colouring in, you'll love the postcards.
Quick cards as well, especially at Christmas time.
Yeah, and also not everybody's into stamping.
No.
So now we've also got other. If you go to the website and you put in poppets,
you will find loads of different poppets. You've got the Groovy, our original collection, which is the Flower, Whimsy, and Christmas. They're also printed on parchment as well. Now, there's no current plans to do the sprites and the pixies in parchment, but you can stamp onto parchment as well. If you have a look at our YouTube pages, you'll find Barb's done a number of tutorials on how to stamp onto parchment, especially the lovely designer parchment.
Very nice.
As well. And these would work beautifully on designer parchment.
So what we thought as well, what the idea is, I'm going to get into the demos now. What I thought would be a really good idea, we've got these lovely images.
Yeah.
And they stand alone. But what I thought would be great was if I show you lots of tricks and tips on how to frame them, how to present them, and how to make these little characters come to life.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Okay.
So the first thing, I thought we'd start with the small ones, and then we'll build up to the large. So we'll go to the small, have a bit of a warm up, have a look at some of the beautiful samples that the design team have sent, and then I'll show you a couple of tricks. So first of all, let's take a look at the artwork. So these are the 2 A5 sets. Really nice. And I'm going to shout about our quality, because Clarity stamps, we make them here in house. And they are absolutely pristine.
They're long lasting, aren't they? Because of the type of polymer that we use. For you can use like your fibers and all of that on it, and it doesn't distort.
Not
These
at all.
Lovely in the fibers, those wings.
Yeah, really beautiful.
Beautiful.
Beautiful. So let's take a look, for example, at some of the samples now. And we'll just take a look. It's going to be a bit of a Tony Hart now. Da, 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 da. Right, let's have a look. And we can see others, whatever. Debbie McMullin, this is really fantastic. Look at that. Are my eyes deceiving? Is that 677 people watching?
Yes. No pressure.
Okay. Well, this is Debbie's artwork, and I'm
Can I just say, before you go into this artwork, we've got the design team in the chat rooms as well on Facebook, and they are responding to questions. I think the questions are coming in. They're helping people out.
Okay.
So thank you to the design team, as always, for that.
Well, I'm going to say something now as well, apart from a massive thank you to the design team. One of the things about Clarity is that we don't just sell you product and then let you get on with it. We are very much, if you're new to Clarity, then welcome to the community, because you will find this is not unusual. This is how it works at Clarity. And we've got Facebook pages that are just dedicated, and they're beautiful, safe places as well. So Grace, that's online at the moment, she spends her days policing our groups. Now there's almost no need. We very, very seldom get any vitriol, any trolling, any unkindness. We're a kind company. We always do the right thing, and so you'll find that's reflected in our audience as well.
Yes,
you know,
absolutely.
it's a safe place. So if you join Groovy Worldwide, if you join Clarity Worldwide, there are so many different. Gracie, she's always online, and she's always on in the evenings, because of course she's 5 hours
in New York.
In New York, she's 5 hours behind us.
And it's also a good idea with our YouTube page. Many of our friends are tuning in via YouTube, to make sure you follow, subscribe.
Yes.
And then you'll get notified every time something goes out.
And also go on our website, and on the front page, sign up to the newsletter.
Yeah.
And then you'll know where we are, because these are turbulent times, friends. So, and because of that, you might want to really hook into those Facebook pages, sign up for our newsletter. I do a shack every Monday. I'm starting again tomorrow, 10 o'clock in the morning on Facebook Live. Every Tuesday, Paul does Groovy Tuesday, and there's always a couple of hundred of us. We're always hanging out together.
And on a Thursday evening, it's normally the shack as well.
So this Thursday, we've got a craft along.
Indeed,
yeah, we've got a craft along, and then on Saturdays, the big online workshop.
Yeah.
So there's so much to do. You know, my point being that apart from the brilliant design team that are always there helping you, like the open days, come to that, right? You'll find that if you want to get good at crafting, this is the perfect community, because there are always people reaching out to help you.
And no question,
you're not alone.
It really is a silly question. I bet if you're thinking, oh, how do you do this? And there's going to be other friends out there thinking exactly the same. So don't be scared or shy about sort of putting that information out there.
You're absolutely right. So let's have another little look at these samples. This is a Linda Spencer. You can see here she's used the embedder. I love the little ones. Debbie McMullen again. There's a pair, and she's used those doodle dies again. Then we've got Linda Spencer again. Really simple. I like the way they perch. The little ones perch on these words. Paul, what are these called, these stamps? Because I'm going to use them.
Our occasion sentiment stamps.
I really
got
like
these
these
on the show as well.
I really think they're brilliant. So here's one. This is Jane Telford. Love this. In fact, I'm going to pull this one to one side. So she's using our petite toppers, our papers, cards, and our pinky grey stickers. I'm going to pull that one to one side, because that's where I'm going with the demo. Then let's have a look. This is really great. I'm sure this is Sarah Brennan. Fantastic little notelets.
I love these little notelets, the craft card.
So cool, aren't they? And she's used the doodle dies in the background, because the doodle dies, not the doodle dies, Pico dies, we developed them for parchment, but they work so nicely, don't they, on Linda Spencer again, lady that always thinks outside the box. I'm going to be using these in a demo later. Great minds think alike.
Tags and frames boxes as well.
Deborah Wheeler, a lot of white space. Love that look.
Oh, there's Mandy.
Little girl, there's Mandy in the corner. Birthday greetings. That's a really cool set.
Stamps.
Yeah. Jane Telford, very grungy, arty. Love it. Then we've got Tina Morris. I like the way she's used our die. I love those dies. Health, peace, and sweet content. Round aperture framer dies.
I had those on TV a couple of weeks back.
So good, aren't they?
There's a lovely Christmas one. Happy Christmas and a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.
Brilliant. This is a snowflake aperture stencil, because we do have a fantastic range of stencils. Tina Morris again, health, peace, and sweet content. You see, we've been going for 30 plus years. Julie Dunn, love it, with the embedder. And then finally, last but not least, Jane Telford. I really like, this is what we drew in the shack, wasn't it?
It was,
so this was the autumn framers. I really like this set.
A little bit of perga glitter on there as
well.
well.
Very nice indeed. On your special day, pinky grey, stickers. So you can see from the quality of the samples. It's nice having time to look at them all in detail.
I just need to clarify, shipping is within the UK, if it's under £35, it is £4.75.
Is it?
That's what so I think we sort of changed it a while back.
Okay.
But yeah, no, it is £4.75 if your order is under 35.
So there's a solution there.
And I'm sure once you have a look on our website, I'm sure you think, oh, I need this, I need that. And during the course of 2 hours, as Barb said, if you've checked out already, then don't worry. We will adjust any postage afterwards because we have that technology. It's called Me and Sue.
Okay. Well, should we have a look at some demos?
I think so.
Okay, thank you. Right, so let's have a look. I picked the one here. This is from Jane, bless her. She's online as well at the moment, I'm sure.
She is.
And I thought, I'll do something the same but different. So you can see I've taken the girls from there, right? And now what have we used? So let's take a look. And what I thought would be really nice, I know this sounds a bit crazy, but I'll show you what we're going to do. We've got time and we're going to do it. So here's my list. And here's my box, and I'm going to pan out a little tiny bit. Bear with me a second.
Whilst you're doing that, we've had another question is, if you can't tune in live, then don't worry, you can catch us up on our YouTube page anytime. This will be on there for weeks to come. So if you're to dash out, don't worry, you won't miss anything. You can catch up via our YouTube
and
page.
This is so that is always going to be there, and we'll have any of these online shopping events that we're doing here will be in a particular place. We'll make sure Jim will sort that out. And then you can come in. So if you miss it, or we go over, we carry on a bit too long because we're getting into it, then there you go. You can always watch it. And
it's like catch up, but it's just on YouTube. If
you get sick of the voice, just turn the sound down. Right, let's have a look. So I want to go through and let's have a look. Oh, right, let's have a look. So we've got the mega mounts and the stamps. So I've got my stamps that I'm going to use. These are these little A5 ones. So we've got the pixies with the hats. Right, I'm going for the pixies. Got a little mega mount there. Right, then we've got the Shenandoah. I'm going for Shenandoah.
Oh, these are nice. They're petite toppers.
Design toppers. So these are great. These were the original size of all the design papers. I mean, we've got lots of other things. What you'll find is when you look at them, there's always a kind of a light spot. Look, you see, when I did them with UPO paper and alcohol inks, I designed them in such a way that there's a light spot. So it's almost, look, you see the landscape there. But if you look at Jane's, you see she's gone to the light spot, or you look at the one I did, I've gone to the light area. And these are Shenandoah. This one's Shenandoah, and this one's Antarctica. The Antarctica is the blues.
And these are, if you put in petite toppers on the website, there's a £4 saving on each of these packs. They should be $14.99, and the special price is $10.99.
Is it?
Yeah.
Plus your club discounts.
Plus your Clarity Craft Club discounts.
Excellent. So we're using those as well. Do you remember I said I'm going to show you different ways to present? So this is a great, you just literally stamp straight onto the card, anchor it. Anchor, by that I mean ground a little image. But I want to show you a couple of tricks on how to do this.
Lovely.
So we've got that. I've got pergoliners. So of course the next question is what pens work when you're working on printed papers. So we're using our pergoliners.
Special offer on those as well.
Oh, go on then.
£5 off on that one.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Right, so it's £5 off on the pergoliners as well. I'm going to use a black archival for stamping the image.
Yeah.
Now you'll notice here I've got an ink eraser. So the ink eraser, it's a Faber-Castell, well-loved little thing. And this is great for taking colour out, which is what we're going to do in a minute. So the ink eraser, let's have a look where that comes from. We've got a Colouring Essentials 5-piece set. So in here, we tend to use the same stuff a lot, don't we?
We do. And these are sort of like your essentials, not just for your parching.
So here we've got a two-part.
We've got a double-ender.
A double-ended one. So the pink is for pencil erasing. Like if you put the pergoliners down, then you think you've over-egged it. That one will get rid of that.
Yeah.
This one gets rid of ink. So that's the one that I'm interested in. If you're using parchment, for example.
Taking the colour away.
Taking the colour away.
Yeah.
So here we've got a mix mat. We've got Dorso oil. We've got nibs, blending nibs,
Yep.
and the spot-on sponges. So all
Definitely
that
need
comes in
spot-on
that set. So that's where I found that. I'm going to use my sharpener. That's on our website as well. I like this one. And when it gets a bit blunt, because they do have a shelf life, then it gets relegated to rubber or eraser.
Eraser. I think there's another one up on the shelf that's got an E on it.
Eraser. Right. So then I've got, now we've got the Posca pens. So I've got the white Posca pen and the gold Posca pen. Should we do that in a minute?
We can do that in a minute.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then I've got the 6x6 wide card blank. That's in the background. That's for mounting. We've got some beautiful card blanks. Then the spot-on sponges. They're in that set that I just looked at. They're great for spreading colour. I'm using a distress ink. This is what I use, that colour. I don't know what Jane did, but I used that underneath to anchor it.
Right, okay.
Right? Because otherwise, look, I'll show you. See, she's floating like that.
Magical.
Right? So you want to put something underneath her feet.
Yeah.
It's very easy. So I'll show you that. So I've just used a dye-based ink to do that. And that's all of it. That's everything that I'm going to use. So I've got all my stuff in the stash.
I think we can get started.
Now we can get started. I know it's a bit...
I think this is all about it, isn't it? It's new for us. And you know what? It's all about the process and our friends at home that are joining in. Some people may just be joining us now for the first
720
time.
people. What is going on? Well, okay.
I think the weather's a little bit miserable outside as well, but we're here to brighten up your afternoon wherever you are in the world.
That's very nicely put, Paul.
It is. Well, we are.
We are. Okay, so let's have another look, and then we'll get going. So if we're going to look at this card, let's say, for example, I've selected this particular piece of colour card from the Shenandoah set. I could take that one. I could take that one. I could take that one. I can turn it round like that. I can decide which image. If I'm going to put a different image, let's take another little girl. See, I can pop her there. Do you see?
Yeah.
There are so many options here.
That's another good thing with the stamp sheet. You've got the indexing on it, hasn't it?
Yeah, so that's right.
Can use that for positioning.
So when you go to use, exactly that. So for example, if I'm going to pick one of these, let's take her. I've deliberately picked her because she's got a couple of little birds that aren't part of the stamp, right?
Oh, yeah.
So let me show you. If I pick her, and then I'll take my I had it, Mega Mount. There it is.
See-through.
Can't see it. Right, so say I take my Mega Mount and I pop that on there. Right, so she's ready to go. But now I've got these two tiny, tiny little birds. Right, now I can move them depending on where I want to. Let's have a look. Let's go to here. Right, so if I pop her on there like that, she's going to go there, let's say. I'm going to trim that off. I'm going to take 2 inches off the bottom. So it's 5 by 5. You can see where I've cut here.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that that's a waste.
No, that's great for you matting a layer in.
Exactly. You just decide where you want to go. But the thing that I want to show you is let's take this dark bit here. If I use that eraser pencil, if I let me just show you. Let me just rub in that direction there. What you'll find is as I do this, it starts to see the colour coming out. See it? So that means that even if you're in a darker area, you can take the colour out of definitely out of parchment, piece of cake, but I wanted to flag up that you can do it in this area as well.
So also you could create the effect of sort of like white work, technically, couldn't you, to add light and shade, lightness on the card. So
say I want to put her in there now. So I know that I'm going to pop her there. Okay, so I'll cut that off.
Yeah.
I could do that later. You know, I don't want to, why limit myself right now? So let's say I want to pop her there. So I know now that this area, it looks quite light, right? But maybe I want to make it a little bit lighter, right? So I can just use this white eraser just to take out a little bit of colour there. Okay.
Yeah.
And you will see that it's actually, it works well. And the other thing is that when I go to stamp on this area, it's like I've roughed up I've given the card a little bit of purchase. So you'll find that the stamp works really nicely on there now.
Right. Okay.
So I've done that. Get rid of all the bits. The more you do that, the lighter it will get.
Yeah.
Right. So, but you want to know, say, for example, if that's her face, right, you want to know roughly where her head's going to be. So look, see how I can take out So her face is going to be nice and
Yeah.
bright, ready to take pencil colour. There you go. So now I've done that, now I can stamp her into place. But the other thing is, of course, I've got those little, that was what I was saying, was I've got those little tiny,
Oh, the little
those little,
birdies.
yeah, right.
Yeah.
So what I can do now is decide I can stamp it all at one time or do it afterwards.
Independently,
Yeah. And you know, it's up to you.
Mm.
6 of one, half dozen of the other. If you want to do it at the same time, so you could pop that one there. Let's say I could put them up there. Just make, do you see what I mean?
Mm.
So let's just see though. If I do this, I can change the. So that would work. That would work. Or I could take that one, and I can pop it down. Let's say I could put it there as well. Do you see?
Yeah.
So I pop it there. So now I'm going like that, and that one's there. So I can completely control where I put the little birds.
Yeah.
Do you see?
And the quality of the stamps, it doesn't lose the detail, does it?
No.
Because they're so small.
So let's say I'll pop that one there and that one there. Spread them out a little bit, right? Make sure they're not, right, let's have a look now. But the point is I've got that flexibility.
Yes.
Okay, so that'd be nice. Right, next thing, let's stamp her up. So I'll take a bit of white copy paper so you can actually see what I'm doing here. Right, so we've got that, we've got that, we've got that. Right, check, check, check. This is very easy.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a simple exercise. Right, I'm using a black archival ink pad. That's all smooth. I've got rid of the colour in the area where I want to stamp her. Now, let's call this a new stamp. So let me check it first so I know that the pressure's right. What I'm doing is right. So I'm just going to stamp this up. Have we got them on? Yeah, there we are. I was going to say limited stock, but right. So we know, right, that the detail is superb.
Yeah.
Right. Let me just show you. If I come in a little bit tighter, I think what I'm going to do is indulge the quality of these stamps, because they are second to none. When you see how tight it is, it's crazy. Okay. So I'm going to bring this in now. I'm going to stamp that up into that area there. There we go. So we're just, I'm bringing the ink pad to the stamp. I always think that works best. I've got more control.
Yes.
Right. The other thing is, if you're using an ink pad and you find it's a bit grey, or it's missing the bit in the middle, let me show you. I often see people doing that. Right.
Tapping just like.
But very often ink pads, I've got time to indulge this. Often when ink pads get old, right, or they've been around a while, what you'll find is, because you keep stamping in the same place with the ink, with the stamp, after a while it will go concave, so the middle bit goes down a bit.
It's like the edges are drying out, aren't they?
The edges are up, and you've pressed and pressed and pressed and pressed, so it's got a bit of a curve, a bend in it. So then what happens is, if you stamp like that, right, then what happens is the middle bit doesn't hit the center. So you've got to kind of factor in when you're stamping. You'll notice I always have my finger there
in the middle,
and the reason is so that I know that I'm compensating if there's a curve in the ink pad. That's
Absolutely.
all. Yeah. I tell you what, it makes a lot of sense. So now I've got that. It's a fast drying ink pad, so I won't spend too long. I'm going to press. Just give it a little bit. These are lovely little stamps.
These are the little, these are the mini Poppet Pixies.
Yeah.
These are the A5 stamp sets.
Perfect.
That we've currently got on the screen.
There we go. So now that is set, and I've put the birds in a really lovely place. So it's time to colour them in.
Lovely. Right,
let that dry. I'm going to fast forward. I've got that one all ready to go. Okay. So it's the same one. I've just already coloured. I've already done that job. Right, enter. Let's put that on there.
Put the lid on.
Good housekeeping. I don't need that. I don't need that anymore. Now what I'm going to do, you'd think, right, I'll put the grounding in now. But what I want to do, I don't want to go through her shoes. Do you see?
Oh, yeah.
So how do I do that? I have to kind of mask that off.
Right.
So one of the things that you can use to mask off is wax or oil-based pencils.
Right.
They do the job for you.
Yeah.
So, for example, these B pencils, these ones, they are oil-based. Let me just come out a little
These
bit
are a
so you can see it.
well-used box of pencils.
Yeah, I don't know if they are the ones that I brought. Are they mine? I had sharper ones, but I I did. But that's all right. I can work with these. Have I got mine there?
Let's have a look. No, these were from the shelf.
This is all right, but let me just show you. So, for example, if I pop this little bit of red on here now, right? Just a little bit of red on there. And what you'll find is, see, because they're wax based, they will really, hang on.
Come in.
No, I've got a bit of
Can
rubber in there. Can you sort that out for
Yeah,
me? Look, I've got
there we
so
go.
much going on in there. Right, let's just have a look. So, for example, if I colour these in now, let's have a look. I can colour this in, and you'll see that the colour, you can go really lightly, like that. Let's do her hat. And you can go really lightly over the top. And because we've already rubbed out, it's got a bit more purchase, you'll see it takes the colour really, really well.
So you're building up in sort of layers.
Yeah, so that way I can get a bit of shade going. I mean, if I wanted to, I can just go really solid red, right? I
like
can
you
do
did
that.
on the shoes.
Yeah, or I can add a bit of texture. So there are different ways to colour in, aren't there? If you ever come into the shack, that's the sort of thing that we deal with in the shack, isn't it? Colouring. And so you can get shadow, you can get depth, you can get a bit more, here we go, look, in there, right?
The detail on these images are absolutely amazing.
And what's really lovely as well in these is, I wish I could find the right pen. This will do. That'll do. Right, this one. So this is actually an A pencil, right?
Right, so
it's one of the water ones, but I like the colour better. So what you'll find is, if you're using an A pencil, it's not waxy.
Right. Okay.
So the trick, right, is to take the white one and do an undercoat. I'm just showing you a couple of tricks if you want the other colour. So now I've used the white B pencil, but then I can take one of the A pencils, and you'll find now I can press hard and I'll get much better colour. Look, you see, it's quite interesting how it works, okay? So now I've got yellow there. I'm going to put some, so you'll see if I do this and I press really hard, it's darker. If I put an undercoat of white, right, the B pencil, then I can, then all of a sudden, the point is that then all 20 of the aqua pencils become B pencils.
Right, because you're sort of mixing them up.
Yes.
So we've got these on the show. If you're looking for those, the item number for the pencils is 70063. And as I say, they're normally £29.99. You've got a £5 saving, so it brings it down to £24.99 plus your Clarity Craft Club discounts as well. And you can never have too many pencils.
These certainly are great. I mean, you know, there are different pencils available. The B pencils are the equivalent of the polychromos, the Faber-Castell polychromos, which are fabulous pencils. You know, I've always been a big advocate of those.
Yeah.
But for pound, you know, dollar for dollar, these are marvelous.
I think these are a good way to get started as well, aren't they?
They are. So now I'm just using, you know, the point is that you can use B pencils, you can use A pencils, you can, so there's a little bird, let's put that bird in there. Then we can take the B pencil and on the A pencil, sorry, over the top, and we can add a bit of color like so. You can add shade, it doesn't
take long to bring them to life, does it?
Not at all. And then we'll put a little bit of color in there. The thing is also, what I like about these particular images is that because they're so sketchy, you don't have to get carried away, you know, so fastidious. That's right. So I've done the color now. The white on here is going to be the last thing I do.
Right.
I don't want to do the white. I want to put this line in now first. So let's take a bit of copy paper. That's all I need. A little bit of copy paper like that. And then I'm going to take an ink pad like so,
Yeah.
right? And then I'll make a mushroom with one of my spot on sponges. So it's a very wet ink pad, this one. So I can always add it, but I can't take it away. So I've got choices. I would just hold it like so and then go, right?
Yeah.
And where the red is, it will resist.
It's going to resist because
right?
it's the wax base.
Because I've put a seal on it like this. I've sealed it. I know that it will resist. It will just come off. If I want to, I can take our low-tack masking tape.
Yeah, which we also have on our website.
And that way it keeps it in place like so while I'm working. Sometimes you need to be able to do, that's a good idea too. Right, so I've got my spot on sponge. Let's have a look. I'm going to go like that, get the colour in, get rid of the excess, like so, right?
So it's a way of controlling as well, isn't it?
And now I'm going over the top, right? So I go like that, dib, 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 and then I can go in there and I can...
And you're always starting on the copy paper first.
Yeah, look how far in on the copy paper too. So that way you start in over here and then you sweep in. Can I use the brushes? Sure thing. We've got brushes, but this is going to give you a much, much deeper look. You watch. When I take this away, you'll see. But the red's staying in place and I'm not going through the shoe.
Wow.
So when I take that away, you see how he's got that
tiny little amount.
That's all he needs. That's all it needs. And you can take that. I can sweep this across that line now, right? Like so, like so. There we are. And that will, it hasn't affected the red. I haven't affected the colour of the shoe. She's standing there nicely. See how easy that is?
Yeah.
Okay.
As I say, it hasn't really taken that much time just to bring her to life with a few pencils.
And ground her as well.
Yeah.
So once I've done that, the other thing is, of course, let's just put these away for a minute. Let's just take those out of the way, because the next thing I want to do is go to the stickers. So I know that we've got them here.
Right, this is the latest release of stickers, isn't it?
Yeah, so we've been doing stickers for a few years now. Again, stamps, stickers. This is a great way of adding sentiments, isn't it? So we've got, for example, we've got them in white and then in black. You can see I like my stickers. These are the pinky grey set.
This is a real mix of different sizes in fonts, isn't it?
So we've got a set here, haven't we? We've got all of them on here.
Yeah, so it originally started with Barbara's stickers. It all started back in the lockdown, didn't it? Then we went on to the Christmas and celebration collection, followed by the Feel Good Factor.
That's right.
And then finally we had the Leonie's collection.
Yep, that's it.
And then what we did, we looked at changing the font up. So this is where the KISS, which stands for Keep It Simple.
Keep It Simple stickers. So the font changed from that Times Roman to this really, really cool, fresh.
And it's the same concept. You get white and you also get black as well. And the beauty of that is that you can then change the colour with ink pads, can't you?
That's right. So so that worked really well.
Yeah. And then finally, the latest release earlier this year, the Pinky Grey range.
The Pinky Grey range.
So we have these on the website as well. And you've got, I love the sort of the different size fonts on them.
That's right. So Jazz designed these, and you've got they're different beautiful sizes. So they're large, they're mixed, and it's all different. They're very, very arty. Yeah. So we've got Christmas, birthdays, all going on there. So if, for example, right, let's take that. So let's stick to the plan. Let's use this wishing you a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. So that sits in there just like a treat. But so we've got choices. We could, for example, so what Jane did, she mounted them on Miri board. Right? I thought, oh, I like that. That looks good. But what I can do is, let's have a look. Well, I didn't have any Miri board in the cupboard. So I thought, right, well, what have I got? You use what you've got.
Yeah.
So I used our
the
Posca pens. So let's have a little word about those now. Because these Posca pens actually are really, really useful. And the white one is the one I'm going to use for all the little snow, the white fine one. So let's kill two birds with one stone here. I'm going to use the very white fine one to do the snow and the highlights. See how white?
Yeah, I wonder how you got that so bright.
And then the fat gold one is the one that I've used around the outside to give that gold frame and also around the sticker. So that's what I want to show you in a minute.
Right. Okay.
So let's have a look at these. Let's
Okay,
have a look
so
what
we've
we got.
various different configurations of
Okay.
our Posca pens.
So we've got the gold and the silver.
Yep, the gold and silver, thick and thin.
No, thick and thick.
Thick and thick.
Thick and thick,
I'm
thin and
thick.
thin.
You're
So
thick,
those two go together.
Yep.
And those two go together. So you've got golden silver and golden silver.
Yep. And then you've got your thick and thin
white.
And then your thick and thin black.
Right, good.
So you can obviously buy them individually on the website. I mean, the two thick pens together, the gold and the silver, £8.80 plus your discount. Which ones? The two thick ones.
Thick ones.
Yeah.
Okay, so let me just say these ones are 1.8 to 2.5.
Yeah.
Do you know the nibs are interchangeable? They're thick at one end, and right.
Yeah.
So you pull them out, put them back in. Right, you replace them. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Right, and then the thin ones.
Thin ones are £7. So they're like £3.50 each.
£3.50 each, less your discount. Yeah. And also that's 0.7 mil, just for anybody who wants to know.
Really
so
fine.
They're really fine. So those are the bundles that we've got all of those on our website.
All on the website.
So that's good to know.
Just search for Posca and it will come up.
You know, when you're doing snow or you know, you're always looking for a really good pen. And when Posca came along, it was like, eureka, they're the ones, right? So let me just show you a couple of little tricks, just a couple of little finishing tricks. First of all, I'll go to my gold one. These are the two I'm going to use. So you're a couple of steps away. It's interesting. You look at that and you think you're still miles away, but you're not. You're a gold Posca pen and a white Posca pen away from completion.
That's all.
That's it.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So the first thing I want to do is show you, if I take my, let's do this first.
Yeah.
Right. So I want to frame these two things. Right. If I take, all right, let me, I'm saddling the horse the wrong side in. Let's take a bit of copy paper. Okay, let's have a look. Right, we'll take a piece of copy paper. I'll take this. I'm going to take my gold one, right, and I'm going to put an edge around the ledge first.
Right, okay.
That's the first thing. Don't need a ruler.
Yeah.
Right, let's do this first. So I've got my gold, very nice, big fat Posca pen, big and bold. I'm just going to dig in and drag. Now turn it, and I'm going to dig in and drag. So you do that 4 times. You see, you can, if you go slower, more slowly, what you'll find is the gold it gets more opaque. There. So let that dry. So that's the first thing. We've done that. Now, so now I'm going to use the same thing on my sticker. But if I stick it on here, it's stuck. So although there is a little bit of wiggle room, but if I use one of these poly bags, especially the frosty ones, you know, if I say frosty one, you know what I mean. So if I pop that on there now, like so, what you'll see is it comes off.
Right.
Right, because it's a little bit of air under there, isn't there?
Yes.
So again, you could do this with a Sharpie pen, you could do this with the silver, with the gold. Right? Let's have a look. It's just a good way if you want to. Don't get me wrong, you can always mount these onto your companion papers or bit
that you chopped off of the.
Well, then it'd be the same as that though, so not so. But let's say, for example, if I do that, you'll find as you go around here, some of it ends up on there. That's fine, but you'll get a really good edge. See, just turn the artwork, do this. It's exactly the same thing as what we've just done.
Yeah.
Except now we haven't lost the stick.
Right.
Okay. So we'll take that away. Now we'll bring this in like so. Do that. Go like that. Right. So we haven't. Yeah. Nice. Just make sure it's in the right.
It's just that little gold edge that really does make it stand out, doesn't it?
I mean, if you wanted to, you know, you could always stamp. There's a lot of artwork where they prop her up, or you know, you could stand her on there. On the box. You know, that's the other thing. Once this is all dry, I could go back in with the Posca pen, with the pergoliners, and beef up the colour more if I want to.
Yeah.
But what you'll find is low lights and highlights. If I use the white one now, let's have a look. If I use the white pen, let's see. This is where your eyes need to be good. But I'm going to turn around like so. Let's just put, look, you'll see when the white, it's the opacity that is the best thing about it.
Oh, yeah.
So you'll see now. Can you see this all right?
Yeah.
So you'll see, like, I'm just doing her cuffs and her collar, wherever you want to. Look how that makes it pop. Do you see?
Yeah.
Let's do the little bit round the bottom of her booty here. Right, there you go.
It does. It's amazing because you may look at that before you add the white and you think, oh, it's a little bit soft, it's a little bit pastel. And as you said, you can go in and you can reintroduce the colour on top to build up those layers. But that introduction of the white Posca pen.
Yeah, no. Got little white gloves. You can put white where you like, right?
The detail on these images, it's not until you start to go into it that you really pick up on little things.
And now here comes the snow or the stars, you know, and this is where we really see how pretty. I've always felt that just a couple of dots here and there, they make all the difference, you know.
Yeah.
But there you go. So when you come in tight, I'm not going to over egg it, but you'll see as I come in tight, let me just bring in a bit more. Look, see how that's just changed that completely.
Yeah.
So it's very, very simple. You leave that to dry. It don't take 10 minutes. And then once that's clean and dry, then you're going to lift that off. I wonder if that's already dry. Yeah, it is. So then once it's dry, that will get mounted onto a card blank.
And how would you mount it onto the card blank?
Just let me come out a little bit on this camera. There we go. So isn't that pretty? So there's one that I've already done. And once it's dry, I would use our Clarity stamp, our glue runner. I know that it's not going to be quite dry yet, so I don't want to do it. So these are brilliant. You get 100 feet on one of these, 98 feet on one.
Yeah.
What I like about them is this little...
I know that's a real sort of game changer when it comes
to
it. So we've got them available. You can buy them individually. So the item code for one of them, which is $4.99, is 31065. However, these are sort of like a must-have. You can get a pack of 4, okay, and you're only paying for 3. So it's 4 for the price of 3.
That's good.
The item code on that one is 31146. And if you're in any of the Clarity Craft Clubs, you're also going to get your additional discount as well. Now, while Barb's just sort of having a bit of a tidy up, let's just have a look at some of these items just on the back. So Barb was using the lovely Shenandoah petite toppers. We also have the Antarctica as well. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring these in and we're going to come over to this camera here. There we go. So you can see here, you've got the lovely Shenandoah that Barb's been talking about, and you've got 12 different designs in there, okay, and you get 4 sheets of each. It's a single-sided 5x7 cardstock. Then the other one, the one that Jane was using, was also Antarctica. So you've got some beautiful sort of really sort of wintry colorways in here, okay. I'll get the camera. Like if I bring it round, look at that. Isn't that beautiful? And these also have those light areas in there as well that if you use that eraser pencil to lift out. Now we've also got, there's 8 in total different designs. So you've got your Shenandoah, you've got your Antarctica, and then you've got the original collections, which were Northern Lights, Indian Summer, Rainbow River, Shenandoah, Toscana, and Waimea Falls. So have a look on the website, and I'm sure there'll be 1 or 2 that you may think, oh, I love to look on those. If you're going for what Barbara's been using, then it was the Shenandoah, and the item code for that one is 31666. If you like the Antarctica, then the code for that one is 31655. And as I said, we've got a fantastic saving on these. They're normally $14.99. There's £5 off, so it brings it down to $10.99. And then if you're in any of the Clarity Craft Clubs, then you get either an additional 10, 12.5, or 15%. Now, some of our friends at home just asked us to clarify the comparison of the different size of the stamps. So what we're going to do here, these are our A6 square stamps. So I'm just going to bring that over a little bit. So these are our A6 squares, okay? And the ones that Barb was using were our mini ones. So if I bring this in here, you can see, and if I take away this one, you can definitely see the difference in size. Okay, so the A6 square are definitely larger than the A5 mini sets. And don't forget, you also get Mandy as that special offer. So if you go for the Pixies and the Sprites in the A5, then you're going to save, where's my piece of paper gone? You're going to save overall £13.49. There we go, lovely Jim's popped that up on the screen. So if you wanted to go for the A5 version, then it's 12029. But maybe you just want to go for the Pixies or the Sprites. Then we've also got those options available for you as well. Now we've been talking about, today we're looking at the Pixies and the Sprites, but we also have the Christmas ones and the original Flower and the Whimsy. So if you go to the website, which is claritycrafts.com, and pop in Poppets, just like that, then all of it will come up. And even in the Groovy, we've got a fantastic saving on the Groovy as well. There we go, Jim's put the Christmas ones up on £3 saving, so £16.99. Then you've got the Pixies that Jim's showing us now, 12026. So there's lots out there for you to have a look at. But if we have a look at the A6 ones, square ones, which we're now moving on to the next demo, I'm just going to clear a little bit of space just so I can slide our conveyor belt along. Let me just bear with me for a moment while we're looking at that. Okay, so the first ones we're looking at are the Sprites, no hats. You've got your set of 6 A6 square stamps, normally £7.50 each or £7.49. If you just like the look, I mean, this one here, Maeve, in Groovy, she was my favourite one, and I showcased her when we was doing the Groovy when we launched those. And I think this is the one that Barb's going to next. I think she's going to be using Maeve.
Maeve. Can I say that this is Maeve? I'm gonna grab Maeve and bring her over here.
She's lovely.
Right. So there's a little story behind Maeve and why she's called Maeve. So Jim on cameras at the moment.
Yeah.
He's got a little girl. And when we were
right.
naming all these little poppets,
Yeah.
Jim's always telling us about his daughter and what a sassy little, you know, she's a cheeky little madam.
With some attitude.
Yeah, she's got some proper attitude. And so before we named any of the girls, any of them, we said to Jim, which one would you like to call Maeve? And this was the one he went to. Yeah. So this is Jim's daughter. Whenever I see her, I always think of Jim's daughter. Yeah. So there you go.
Lovely. So, and you've got the 6 fantastic characters in here. And I think Barb's actually going to be working with Mabel from this collection. So you can go for the Sprites, but maybe you like the Pixies. So look, this is our lovely moving conveyor belt, also known as a blackboard. It was easier to do this than it was to
move the camera. So you bring the mountain to Mecca rather than the Mecca.
Absolutely. So we've got the Pixies collection. I'll get it right one of these. These are our Pixies. So it's the same configurations. You've got 6 A6 square stamps. You're only going to pay £31.48. Okay, no, wrong price on the screen. £35.95. See, this one I'm no good at a presenter, really.
You're brilliant. Keep going.
I'll stick to my Groovy. So you've got the saving here. Now I know many of our friends at home want to collect everything.
Of course.
Okay. So what we've done is we've put a complete bundle. The camera's not wide enough to take them away, so I'm going to go in the middle like so. Okay. And you're also going to get Mandy. Okay. So you've got your £9 saving carried from your Sprites. You've got your £9 saving carried from your Pixies. We're going to throw Mandy in, who's worth £7.50. And then we're giving you an additional £3.50 saving. Now, this is even before any Clarity Craft Club discounts as well.
Is it?
It is. What are you talking to?
Go on then.
Can
Tell
we
us.
look at some artwork for this
Should we have a look
collection.
at some
I think we
artwork?
need to see some artwork.
Okay, so now we're going to look at the artwork for the large
for
stamps.
the larger stamp sets.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
And so let's just recap, just
Yeah.
as a from flow point of view. The first demo that I did
Yes.
was to show you how to use the design toppers, how to stamp onto coloured card. It's an
Yeah.
instant solution. There's your background.
Because often
right?
you would look at that and think, oh, I can't stamp on that.
Right, it's too dark, it's too busy.
Mm.
You know how to lighten it now.
Yeah.
So for starting out, or for bulk, you know, batch making as it's
Mm.
called, that's a really good way to go.
Yeah.
Okay, so different poppets, different backgrounds, same look.
Yes.
Looks great. Like the two that Jane's
The
and mine,
Shenandoah and the
the
Antarctica.
same but different. You
Yeah.
know, brilliant. So now what we're going to do is go to the larger stamps,
Mhm.
but this time I'm going to look at other ways. And as we're going through these samples, let's consider one of the game-changing products that we brought to market was our doodle dies.
Yes.
Right. So the doodle panel dies, they were like next gen, weren't they?
Yeah.
They were like really brilliant. So if we just look at these first,
Yeah.
then look at the artwork,
Absolutely.
then you'll be able to go, oh, that's what she used that. Oh, she's used that. Oh, she's used that. Right.
Yeah.
So the thing about the doodle dies, and I will go through it for you. So you've got these doodle dies, right? You've got all these, but they're all the same die.
The same design.
But if you cut it out on its own, and I'll do this, if you do it on its own, you get the panel inside.
Yes.
If you put a die within it, you cut it out. You get the floppy frame. So we've got the film strip.
Yeah.
We've got the chevrons. They go up to 6 inches.
Yeah.
Right. So these are great. And you can cut into paper. The outside is a cutting edge. I'll show you. I'm going to show you how it works, just in case you're not familiar. But my point is, this is a fantastic way of framing and presenting these cards.
Perfectly.
And looking forward, it's also brilliant for cutting into the postcards.
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
so you cut straight into the postcards. They are like your panel.
Yes.
So very, very nice. Have we got any specials on these?
We have. These are normally $24.99 and they're available at $19.99.
Are they £5 off each?
£5 off.
Plus your club discount.
Plus your Clarity Craft Club discounts.
Okay, so we've got film strip doodle. We've got chevron.
Yeah.
Love the chevron. Right, then we've got, have we got, yeah, that's right.
Yep.
We've run out of one of them, haven't we?
Lattice is
the lattice we've sold out of.
Yep.
Okay, then we got the dots and we got the hearts.
Yes.
So I'm going to go to the chevron, but you will, obviously what I'm doing with this one, you can do with all of them.
Absolutely. And they're so generic in their style, aren't they, that it doesn't matter whether they're for Christmas, birthdays, any form of celebration.
That's right. And the other thing is, because of inside each other, because of their nestability, it's like gutting. You can, if it's behind, if you're not actually using,
just use one of the smaller ones to take
just gut it.
Yeah.
So let's show you some artwork, and you'll see immediately as we start to work through them, you'll go, oh, there it is, there it is, there it is. So let's get going and have a look. So if we look, for example, at Deb McMullen's here, right, you'll see immediately we're using the larger girls now. There are some, you'll see the embedders have been used. See the embedders, the round embedders?
Oh yeah.
And then in the background, she's used companion paper to show that off. Here's another one, Debbie McMullen again. So she's layered up, which is a really cool way to get a frame. So you see this one's a panel, that one's behind that one. Really interesting when you see them work like that. Here's, we've got round ones as well, haven't we?
Yeah, they're
Sonia
available on the
Goodliffe.
website.
There you go. So she's used the round one here with that beautiful little girl. Fantastic piece of artwork. These are our dies as well. So I think you're starting to get the picture. Here's another one. Linda Spencer, let's have a look. So white on white, I always love that. So you'll see here, she's used the one we've sold out of, that's the lattice, but she's actually stamped directly onto the panel that stays in the middle if you don't add in a nest, if you see what I mean. So I'm going to take that one because that's going to be my inspiration for the next demo. Now let's have a look at some other ideas. This is so nice. Deborah Wheeler. You'll see here she's used an embedder, and then she's used a little piece of designer paper, and she's stood the little girl on there. Very, very nice. Nicely done. Jane Telford. I love the way she's done this. So she's used other stamps to, you can see here, to highlight. Then we've got one here by Deborah Wheeler again. Love the way she's done this. Let's take these out of the way. She's folded it up. She's cut it out on this side. Very nicely done. Then we've got one here by Deb McMullin. This is also very beautiful. You know, the colouring in, it's the pergoliners and the polychromos every time. What have we got here? Pergoliners. There you go. And then, of course, on the manila card, Sarah Brennan, always lovely with the white B pencil.
Excuse me, that white on the craft card, those lovely little pieces that were done earlier with the sort of bijou version.
Yeah. And I'm gonna forgive me for doing this, but I just want to show you, if you want to, see, you can highlight, look, by going in layers, I'm going in again, and I can brighten that up if I want to. And if you wanted to go really white, then guess what? Your fine Posca pens will really give that some. So it's all about highlights and lowlights. Do you see?
And there's a tip with using, when we're using the B pencils and the waxiness, that if you carry on pressing too hard, it creates a seal.
Yeah.
But it also with the pencil,
it's the same thing.
It's the same thing, isn't it?
And also, let me just show you. I'm using this just by way of example, right? So you can go whiter by adding layers like this, right? But the other thing is, it's about highlights and lowlights. So let me see. I'm going off piste here, but I think this is worth seeing. So our polychromos, we sell these as well.
Yeah.
I don't know how to get into this though. Here it is. So sometimes you can make something look whiter by putting by a low light. Right.
Right.
So say, for example, we do a set of 12 polychromos, don't we?
We do, yes.
They're like all the colours that you don't usually get. Like you don't get this. I might have to look into that. But this is a great little. So you get the greys, the golds, the silvers, the metallics, the fleshy colour, the pinks, the sky blues. Just the colours that I really know we use a lot. So say, for example, I'm going to go in now with the greys, right? So here, where, for example, there is a pleat, I can go in here with a grey around that edge. Forgive me, Sarah, for using your card as a demo, but I think you'll see what I'm getting at. So if I go in grey there, see how that makes that pop? Look, watch.
And if you like that set of 12 pencils, then the item code for that is 31031.
Cool. So you're using grey next to white. So now I'm using the white pergoliner, and I can bring in more white into the grey. And it's because the grey is next to it, it's obvious really. It just gives it a little bit more oomph. And then if you take your white Posca pen, right? Let's have a look if I've still got some oomph on there. Cool, I did put the lid on well. Right, and then you can add the white accent, and this will start to really make it jump. Watch.
Oh yeah.
And now if I come in a bit closer, see if you can see it better there.
Oh, those little polka dots.
Yeah. So where there's little dots like that, I'm not saying that. See, so if you really want to make it pop, see, so you put a little bit of white on there. Wow. Get a little bit of.
It's about the layering of the colour that you often show when we're working in the shack.
So you can see now how you can get the brightness. You see the accent, or maybe on the top of her shoe, just a little bit of a highlight. So it looks like the sun's hitting the top of her shoe. Do you see?
Yeah.
Just a little accent of whiteness there. Maybe a little bit round there. She's got a little bit of attitude, this one. I love these trainers, don't you? You know, and you can put a little bit of whiteness in the star as well. Just a bit. Doesn't have to be loads there, but what a difference.
It does.
So a little bit of grey and a little bit of white
really
make it pop.
Yeah.
You know what else would be really brilliant? I'm not saying this isn't brilliant, right? But if you've got a green pencil, like I'm going to really, Sarah's like, I don't believe you just did this to my artwork. Well, I did, right? So we've got a little green frog, and we're going to add a little bit of green, just make him pop. And because Sarah, here's the thing, because you put a bit of white B pencil down beforehand, I can put my green down, and it's going to really look like green. Yeah, because she's always done the job for me. Look. So now my little green frog really pops. Cool. Yeah, good, isn't it?
Yeah.
Right. And then it's up to you. So then you could take, just saying, right, you could take a piece of this green bright paper
Sarah
underneath
said she's
it.
messaged in and she said she's forgiven
resigned.
you. No, she's forgiven you. She's blogged the card this morning.
Oh, brilliant.
Wow. Because
Well
yeah,
done.
Sarah has a fantastic blog, doesn't she?
What's the name of her blog? Sarah. Come on, Sarah, give us your blog details.
Let me see if I can find
She
it.
blogs faithfully every single day, the same as Deborah Wheeler, a lot of girls do for us. But what I'm saying is if you put a little bit of green there, instead of the white underneath, you could slide a green or wouldn't that look good under at the back there? See?
Yeah.
And then the apertures, because she's used the heart doodle die.
Yeah.
Same thing, see?
And you can use those. We've had a question. Can you use the doodle dies with parchment?
Of
You
course.
definitely can.
Yeah.
So I found Sarah's blog. It's Sarah's Craft Shed.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And it's Sarah with a H. So Sarah
With an H.
With an H. With an H.
Good.
Maybe it is. She's blogged it this morning. I'm
Marvelous.
looking at it. So.
Marvelous. So there you go, just little tips and tricks, but you can see how to, again, she's used the doodle dies, which was what we were looking into.
Yeah.
So thank you for that.
Wow.
Here's another one, really beautiful, by Deborah Wheeler, who also blogs every day too, faithfully. Love the way she's done that.
I mean, I think that's one of the things about
Jane Telford.
Sort of the design team as well that do blogs. I mean, you do your Barbara Gray blog
every day.
We have the Clarity Matters blog.
Yeah.
I'm sure we can pop some links up to those within the various chats if you're new to the Clarity family. But there's always a lot of ideas and
good idea.
Look at this, what Jim's doing.
Oh,
Mr. Jim.
Right, I'm impressed.
Yeah.
Right, how about barbaragrayblog.com? Try that. It's a new chat. Oh! And he spelt it right.
Yeah. Excellent.
Fantastic. Thank you, Jim. Okay, so here we go again. You know, these are just beautiful designs. If you're into these, it's just beautiful with a little bit of glitter. Just absolutely gorgeous. That's a Jane Telford special. And then you see you can go large. This is a Tina Morris, really beautifully. They're fabulous for colouring in.
It doesn't look festive at all, does it really?
No. And there's a Jane Telford I like. She's just taken the little frog and just used one of our stickers.
And see how she's done the background.
There you go. She's used the frog in the background all the way around. Isn't that superb? And you can see she's done the highlights and the lowlights, just like I was suggesting, except she's used a cream and a pink, which is those 12 colours.
And
right?
The stickers
and then the chevrons in the background.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And sticker booklets.
There you go. So everything we've mentioned is all in that little card. You know, we've got loads more samples here. I'm just gonna go for it now. Jane Telford. This is a sassy one. Sonia Goodliff, look at her, cheeky.
Heart backdrop stamp, which you're going to use the circle version.
I'm going to use the small circle version in a minute. So then we've got our Sarah Brennan rainbows, Debbie McMullin. These are absolutely marvellous. Look, here we go. Stencils in the background.
That's
embedders.
That's really lovely.
Yeah, these are absolutely masterpieces. Really lovely. Linda Spencer. I like this trick. This is a Tina Morris. We did this trick in one of the retreats, didn't we? When you lift it off the jelly plate.
Like a negative resist, wasn't it?
Andy Duggan. Really nice stencil work. Debbie McMullin. I think, you know, the thing about this is Julie Dunn, you know, even together on a large backdrop stamp, they look great. Here's another backdrop stamp. See, that's another way to present the art, is to use these backdrop stamps, which I will show you. This is one of our, oh, hang on a minute, Julie Dunn. She's used our leafy layering.
Leafy overlay.
Okay, I'm cutting in here because I can.
Yes.
Right. So let me just interrupt the show here. On the 31st of October,
yes,
we've got a
craft along.
A craft along using gel press. Yeah. So this was the pitch. I'm going to show you in a minute. I'm going to show you how to do this.
Lovely.
Right. We've got two different sets of stencils on this one.
Yeah.
I know I'm casting it out there now. But for all you mixed media people who want to get to grips with the jelly plate or the gel press and stencils and paint, The 31st is the time to come.
And it's all free.
Oh yeah. All you got to do is buy the stencils.
Yeah.
So we've got the 7x7 woo-wah stencils.
Woo-wah?
These are how I've done that bit.
Yeah.
There you go. So you get all that lot in this little pack.
Wow.
And then in this little pack, you can find them on the website. They're called woo-wah. And then the leafy overlay. The leafy overlay stencils are these three. You get the innie and the outie.
And that's what's been used on that piece of artwork.
Which is why it's triggered me, because that's the layering background.
Absolutely.
Very,
and whilst
very
we're
nice.
talking about sort of like the craft along, we can also talk about, we've got our open days coming up at our Christmas open days, haven't we?
We have.
We've got,
and all the design team that you're seeing all this artwork, most of them will be in attendance, demonstrating and showing you tricks and tips at the open days.
So we can pop a link up in the chat for the open days, which is on the 8th and 9th of November in Ditton, near Maidstone in Kent. And then on the Sunday, we've also got workshops as well, haven't we?
Yeah.
Inky and Arty with Barb, and an introduction to groovy parchment art with Linda Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, what are you going to do on that? The angel.
She's done that beautiful angel. That's it. Yeah.
So check out if you go to the front of our website, it's really easy. There's all different sections about online workshops and craft alongs. Go to our events section. We've got a lovely calendar that tells you what's coming up as well. And I say,
fantastic.
Really, really good. I mean, Grace just prompted that about sort of like the online workshops and the craft alongs and the open days as well.
We're here to keep you company, you know, and I think like I'm always signing up for different workshops personally. Even after all these years in the business, I never stop learning. And that's the inquiring mind. And I think it's important that, you know, I go and learn something. I go and do art courses everywhere. I bring it back to you. You come to me, I share what I've learned, you know, and that's how it works. So, and then you go and make micro classes other places. There are classes, there are Clarity classes all over the country.
And all that information is sort of like on our website, on Groovy Worldwide and Clarity Worldwide, on Facebook as well. Oh, look.
Jim, you're on fire today.
Wow. Technology.
I know.
Great when it worked.
What
was it like earlier with the cameras?
Oh, don't even ask. Don't even ask. Fantastic, Jim.
Thanks,
Thank you. Okay, couple more demos, couple more samples, and then we'll crack on. I can't believe we're only on our second. Mind you, we've been doing lots of little bits and pieces. So there we go. Couple more. Jane Telford again with a stencil in the background. These are so cool. Andy Duggan. Arty. Oh yeah, there's Mandy. You feel that stencil paste. Isn't it? Stencil paste. Nice. This is a really cool one by Sonia. She's used a tree, and then she's used all the little birds and all the little bits. I know. Arty.
Wow.
Art at its best. So those are the samples, the art samples, if I can hand them over to you. And here are some more. Thank you, Sarah. And what was I going to do? Oh yeah. Right. Let me show you what I want to do. So I took my inspiration from this little fella. This is a Linda Spencer one, because I really liked the way she put this together, you know. And so I've gone a little bit larger. Oh, excuse me. Sorry. It's because it's too white. Then I've got 3 different colored companion papers, because this again is a really cool way to frame and present.
Yeah.
So one, I've used our chevron die, which I want to show you.
Doodles, yeah.
Right, the doodle panel die. You can see I can do it like in white, which looks really classy.
It does.
Which is exactly what Linda's done.
Yeah.
Or I've taken my...
Right, so the companion papers, we've got a fantastic deal on those. So normally they're $12.99 individually, but there's £2 off.
Where are they?
All the companion papers.
Let's just so that you see what they look like. Okay. Right, so these are the companion papers, and they come in books like this, like Amazonia. They're loose leaf, and they're just beautiful colours, and they're the sort of colours that you would never find in a normal. No, they're like bespoke. Not on the high street type.
Yeah, they're bespoke colours, aren't they? Because when you created the original designer papers,
we pipetted these colours.
Yeah, so technology allowed us to pick up a colour, and you will never find that colour anywhere else. So you've got 8 fantastic, and Antarctica's the first time it's been as a companion paper.
So because we sort of looked at it and we said, right, well, you know, we're missing all the teals, the blues, the purples. Look at these beautiful colours.
Lovely,
You know,
aren't they?
for Christmas, we went a little bit lilacs, purples. I mean, just fantastic. So you've got 48 leaves in there, 2 of each, and they're white on the back and loose leaf.
Yes.
But really lovely for stamping on as well.
Yeah.
And doodle dyeing out of. You can cut straight out of them.
Absolutely. So individually, they're normally £12.99.
Okay.
So you can buy them for £10.99.
Okay.
Club discount. Now, if you budget allows and you want all of them, okay, we've got a bundle on the website, and you're actually going to save nearly £32.
Are you?
Yeah.
So you're almost getting 3 for free.
Yeah.
Aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow. Yeah.
Okay, good.
So, and we obviously do storage folders to keep them all in as well. So the
Yes, we
our
do.
8x8 parchment and paper storage folders as well.
Cool. So that's what I'm using here, right? And if you look, for example, at the designer papers that we were using earlier, you'll see how that's like a lovely complement. Look, these colors just tie in beautifully.
Beautiful.
So, you know, whether you die cut into that or that, see, there's the other, and then it gives you that option. So it's again, it's about presenting these images, these stamps that we're selling today. Right? These are just the different options. So this is what we're headed towards. The first thing I wanted to do was take a look at the doodle dies. So I showed you all the different ones.
Yeah, the 4 different options available.
So let me let me pan out a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. I know. It's just too white. It's all right. Well, it's like lights, camera, action. It's all right. Right. So I've got the different sizes.
Yeah.
Right. If I take, let's move that out of the way. Just remember where we put it, Paul.
Yeah.
Because in a minute I'm going to want it. So I'm going to cut this out so you actually see how this works. If I take this plate, we're using, I don't know if you can see it. I've got a kit caboodle here. Like the kit caboodle. We sell the kit caboodle, love the kit caboodle.
Absolutely.
Right. Like it because the plates don't curl.
No, I mean, these plates that we've been using, I've done all the prep for the parchment retreats, the summer retreats, same plates. Precisely,
same plates.
Yeah.
So what I wanted to just, a top tip, what we use is a poly bag on top, right? And then that helps. That helps the cut as well,
it's
actually.
Also, it was a tip from Dee, wasn't it? If you're cutting white cards and black cards and fibres and stuff like that.
So now what I've done is I've put on there, I'm using an 8.5 by 11, the stencil card.
The stencil card, which we also have available. And the item code for our large stencil code is 30361.
There you go. So let's say if I go to, sorry. Right. I use that one. That's going to give me, it's because of that white paper. Let me take that out of the way. If I cut that one, right, that is going to give me that cutting edge and that panel.
With the solid piece. So the edge is just on the outside, not on the in part of
exactly.
The die.
So let's say I'm gonna take that one now. Just excuse the white because it might happen again. I'll keep my hand there so it doesn't. Right. So let's do that. Right. I'll pop that one on there like so.
Yeah.
Okay. So that one's there. I'm trying to show you how to maximize on a sheet. Right. So I could take that one. If I pop that in there, then I'll only get the floppy bit. Let's pop that one there just because I can. Right. Let's take this one and pop that one there. Okay. And then let's take that small one and pop it there. Okay. But if I wanted to, this is the point. If I wanted to gut it, I could take that one.
So if you're going to use and cover it up, then
I might want to gut it.
Yes.
Right. But then I'll get one like that as well.
Yeah.
You see? So wherever I put this one, see, that one might be that one, and then I'll just get the little floppy bit. So if you're going to do that, let's just, for the sake of argument, let's do this one like that, like that. I'm going to actually do it because I know a lot of people, you know, they're not sure how this works, and we never have time to show this.
No.
So I think it's worth explaining. Let's take a bit of low tack tape, and I'm just going to, because you know that the outside is the cutting edge. I'm not a die cutter, right? I'm not. It's not my. I like it,
Yeah.
but I'm no expert.
Speciality.
So what I want to do is make sure, like, I'm just going to take a bit of.
So one of the great
low-tack
things
tape.
about this low tack tape, whilst you're just attaching all the bits and
Yeah.
pieces, is that it is low tack.
Yeah.
And we use it when we're using with our felt. We're using it when we're cut with parchment as well,
Yeah.
because it doesn't. And your stencils as well. We've got these where you can buy it individually, and it's
What, the low-tack tape?
Yep, $2.99 individually.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's what it is if you want a single pack.
Hello.
Sorry. So that's or even if you go for that, it's 4 for the price of 3.
That's very good. Then.
Yeah. So you're only going to pay £8.96 plus your Clarity Craft Club discount.
Right, now let's see if this works. Right, so now I'm going to put the magnetic shim on there.
Yeah.
Right. And what I want to do is make sure that it all just holds in place, because you don't want them to overlap. Right. Then I'll take that one.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, let's have a look. Where are we?
You stay there. I'm just going to move that little cable that's just decided to sort of just jump in. Is it that one?
Yeah.
There we go.
Right, you do that while I do this. And then, okay. So we're going to run these through, and I'm trying to show you that I'm maximizing. I mean, it worked on my machine at home, so if this doesn't work, it's your machine, Paul. Right, let's have a look. Because I'm maximizing. Oh, live dangerously.
Yeah, it's only live TV.
It's only live TV. So I'm going to take this off here so that it doesn't, it didn't jump. That was the one that was so close.
Yes.
What you don't want is for that to jump over onto that.
No.
So if I take this out here, right, you can see that one takes that one. This one is that one. That one is that one. And that one is that one. Okay, so we've cut these out. This is, and we're maximizing on one sheet of 8.5 by 11.
Yeah.
Rather than cutting it out of a 7, and you know what I mean? You keep cutting. Yeah.
Yeah. And also what you've got left over is like those old-fashioned like picture frames where you have multiple pictures behind it, isn't
nice.
it?
But this is the point. Look, when I go through here like this and I peel this off, right, you can see. And then we've got just a couple of ones that need to just be popped out like that, right? If I put another piece of copy paper, if I put another shim in there, just a piece of copy paper, then this will all come out anyway. But this is, you can see the quality of the dyes. It's that blue Teflon coating.
It is, yeah. And I mean, I've worked with dyes for many, many years, really, really detailed. And sometimes you'd have to run it through 2 or 3 times through the machine to get a really clean cut. And then also picking out all the pieces in the card as well would take just as long. And you think, really? And then it sort of puts you off, doesn't it?
Yeah. I mean, you know, depending, like I say, if I put another piece of copy paper in, then I wouldn't have to pick at these at all. But these are very detailed dyes, and you can see that they're all coming out easily. Okay. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you.
I tend to flick it with my finger.
Do you?
Yeah.
All right. You can flick it with your finger.
Flick it with your finger.
Or you can just use the tool that was intended and take your time and have the mindful experience.
Or put another piece of copy paper in.
Or put another bit of copy paper and then you don't have all this. Right. But the point I'm making is that you've got this. So here's the next one. Here's the next one. And you can see how these ones.
This is where it was the other one, the smaller one was on the inside when you cut
this
one, wasn't it?
So this one, you see, so that's come out now. Let's take those there. So that one, for example, is the outside edge, right? And then the inside one is also, so you've got these tiny little topper as well, right? I've only got one little bit there that's there, like that. But it's fantastic quality, right? And basically, then as far as this goes, if I take a lid or something like that, then just so that, because I remember, you know, somebody gave me another dye, you know, I think it must have been off the front of a magazine or something. And then trying to get these bits out.
Oh, yeah.
I through it away in the end. I thought, I haven't got enough life. I haven't got any more hours in my life to pick out all these bits.
Yeah.
So you can see, and I've seen people whack these on the side of it. You know, I'm not sure about that. Again, you know, I've paid money for this. I don't want to bend it or warp it.
Absolutely.
Do you not agree?
Yeah, definitely.
And like I say, I'm not a die cutting expert, so I tend to treat this stuff with respect. And then when I see that there's a couple of little bits still in there, I just knock them out. But it's not exactly rocket science when you
It's
think
not
about the
that
detail.
time-consuming. No,
No.
absolutely not.
But you can see they're all come out, and if there's anything in there, you just have to pick it out like that. But that is nothing compared to
No,
what I'm talking
absolutely
about.
not.
You know, so that's really what I wanted to explain, is how these dies. So I'm going to give Paul can finish doing that little job. He loves it.
Thanks.
But I wanted to explain how these, you know, to maximise on that edge. You
Yeah,
agree with me?
definitely.
Because you're the die
Absolutely.
person.
Yeah, because
really.
if you're batch card making, then this is a good way of doing it, isn't it? Because it's just one pass of the machine through the machine, and you've got all those bits as you've just shown us.
So you've got, I've already, here's some I did earlier.
And we're just, I
There you
mean,
go,
lovely
look.
in white, but imagine doing that in the companion papers. Absolutely.
But it just looks so easy to do, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Right, so now let's go back to the artwork that Linda did, and we're going to go with that one there, right? So the idea is we're going to take that girl, she's Mabel, so we're going to use Mabel, right? But we're going, so Mabel's there, that's Mabel, right? And then we've got a little frog, so we can move him as well. We've mounted him up individually, so we've got Mabel. But what I wanted to look at was also the these really clever stamps. So I really like these stamps, and they come with frames themselves. So you can see here, Linda, she's sort of teed it up so that she's perched the stamp on the little girl. I really like these. I've got the boards to show you, so you can see all the different frames. And then this is a real essential kit for me, because you've got, for example, you've got congratulations, all in different fonts that will fit in one of these. You've got get well soon in the same fonts, but you'll find they fit in these as well. You've got happy anniversary, happy birthday.
Yeah.
They're always the same fonts though. So again, if you make to sell, right, then you've got the same style, and you can pick whichever border or frame you want to use. These also work for any other messages.
They do as well. We've got these on the show. So we've put a bundle together, which Jim's kindly showing on the screen now. So you've got the occasion sentiments with the pattern panel stamp collection. So you're saving £22.50 thereon and paying £52.45. So it's like getting 2 of those stamp sets for free, plus your Clarity Craft discount as well. Well, that's cool. Yeah. Very, very cool. So if I go back to my artwork, my art piece, right, which is the same size here, I've got choices. It's like, do I put her down and then put the words down, or do I put the word down and then? So I'm going to go with the word first. Right. And if I take a piece, look, you can see I've practiced. So what I did was to make sure that it fits. And this is the other thing. Do you put these down first? Do you put that down first and then frame it, or do you put the word down first? You see what I mean? 6 of one and a half dozen the other. Personally, I got to say, I found, well, I can't even remember now, but if you try it out, if you're using a stamping platform, you'll see. Watch this. If I use this one, I use the edge of the mount to pop that in there like so. Then that's exactly where I want it. I've used the edge of the mount on the edge of the card. So I've got my so it's like a guideline. There we go. Now let's top tip next one. If I come in on here, I've mounted it. Yeah. So it sits on there as well. So I just line up with my paper. Do you see with my card? And I go in that one. So I've got my. So this is the benefit of the stamps. I mean, these the mounts. Yeah. You hover with the handle. Introduced when you first launched Clarity. Exactly. Back over 30 odd years ago. Exactly. So I've done it that way around here. Let's just, for the sake of speed, because I know we could be here till the cows come home, couldn't we? In fact, I think I can hear them. So now what I'm going to do is use the edge there on the edge there.
which should leave me enough room. I don't know, if it doesn't work, here's one I did earlier, okay? I'm going to go like that. I'm going to pop that on there like so, right? So now I know get well soon's in place,
Yeah.
right? Then I'm going to take my, this one, I'm going to take this one because it's narrower,
frame. Yeah.
different frame, because this is a bit narrower. Look, I'll show you. See, it's narrower, so I think it will work better.
Oh yes, it's
Right,
all
so
about
you
the
got-
spacing,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
So I'm going to take that one, and then I'm going to hover, and this one's quite cool because I could just hover. Personally, I think it's easier like that to do the words first and then the frame.
Yeah.
But if you're using a stamping platform, I reckon what you'll find is with a stamping platform, you just pop it in, pop it down, up it goes down. I don't use a stamping platform, but it's pretty.
It is. It's definitely, and because
It's there,
you've
isn't
gone
it?
for, I mean, like the get well, you've got it in all the different fonts. If you've gone for Happy Birthday, you've also got that in the different fonts as well.
Yeah. So now I'm going to put the girl in place. So I've got her in, right?
Yeah.
So I know where she's going to go now. So I'll remember, I'm going to always put my finger here. So when I'm mounting, when I'm inking up, I'm making sure that if there is a bow in my ink pad, I'm getting full coverage.
Right.
Right. With a brand new stamp, this isn't brand new, but if it was a brand new, I'm going to make sure that I like what I'm doing. I'm going to make sure on a bit of scrap before I go to my canvas.
Yeah.
Right. Agreed. So this is all done. Very pretty. I like where I've put it. Okay. So now I've done that. I know that I'm happy with that. I'm going to go in here. I'm going to go again. So I always do it one for test and then one for best.
Yeah.
And what I find is I can use the one for test to test my colours as well.
Yeah.
So I can check my colours on that. It's not wasting time. It's good. One for test and one for best. That way you've seasoned the stamp as well. Right, so I know this is going to fit. We'll pop that in like so. She's in place. Voila. Right. So she's in. Oh, the joys of transparent stamping, Paul.
Absolutely.
I wonder who invented that.
Oh, I don't know. It was some woman. She was in Santa Barbara.
Was it?
Over 30 odd years ago. I think her name sort of rings a bell. It was Barbara. Yeah.
But there you go. Cool.
Lovely.
Right, so that fits really nicely. Now let me make sure I've got my frog. Right, so I'll put my frog. Right, frog. Yeah, lovely.
Sore throat.
Okay, there you go. Then we'll pop her in. So she's looking down. So we'll maybe put him at a quirky angle. Nice. There we are. So she's in place as well. So we've done the job. We've done the job.
Yeah.
Right, I'm going to move on. I don't need to colour this in. I think you understand how colouring in works.
Yeah.
We've done that. I've got my colours. What I will do is just do her hair. I just want to, you know, like to highlight some low lights again.
Yeah.
So let's take I'm going on about these pergoliners again. So let's just pretend that the hair wants, look, I've done it already. I've done it for you, right? Let's just say the hair wants
a little bit on that, Barb, I reckon.
Yeah. There. How's that?
That's it.
Thank you. So if you look at that, you can see you've got the colour here, right? But then it's dark and it's light in there. So it looks like the light is hitting it.
Yeah.
So for example, if I go in there like that, light circular motions, just in that area there. This is something, if you want to learn colouring and this kind of thing, the Shack is a great place. It's free. Shack stands for Safe, Happy and Creative. It's something that we developed the day of lockdown, didn't we, Paul?
Yeah.
And you know, at the time, for a long time, every day we hung out and we learned how to doodle and how to draw. And, you know,
it all started with the birds on a wire.
Birds on a wire.
Yeah.
So let's have a look. If I've got that orange colour, so I've used, say, a light colour.
Yes.
Now I'm going to use a darker colour.
Okay.
Right. And this time I'm not going to go out as far. So I'm going to stick to the edge a little bit. And you'll see.
Oh, yeah.
So straight away, see that edge now is starting to make it look more dimensional.
Yes.
So this is the sort of thing that we kind of do a lot of in the shack, don't we?
Yeah.
Every single episode of the shack is actually still recorded, isn't it?
Yeah, you can have a look at our YouTube page. I mean, the YouTube page for Clarity Crafts, there is thousands of different tutorials on there, all of the episodes of the shack, all of our craft alongs that we've done over the years.
It's all recorded, it's all still there, isn't it?
And it's all free of charge.
But you see how, so that's really, and you can take different colors, but the idea is that you go lightly, you leave a white area, you decide where the light source is obviously here, right? And then you just go in like so. Now, once I've done that, again, remember that B pencil? I've made a little bit of a wax seal there. Okay, so then let's just, for the sake of argument, let's put a little, I'm doing the bits that are new.
Yes.
Okay. If I take the moons, these are from our moon masks. They
are. So we've got, I mean, obviously all of our masks are available individually on the website. But we have this fantastic, and it always sells so well when we bring this to you.
Yeah.
So what you have here, this is the Scenescape set. If I come in over on this one, so you can have a look. So you've got your Scenescape masks, and in here you've got your mini moons in there. You've got your castle and bunting. You've got clouds. You've got your larger moons as well. Look, there we go. That's what Barb's been using. And then when you have a look, then so we're going to go in back over on the overhead. So the item code for the masks are 30150. And guess what? There's a £3 saving.
Excellent.
You need to come over to your left a little bit.
Sorry, darling. Right, here we go. So if I pop that in there now, like so, okay. The mask, I've got a spot on sponge, but I've already done the solids one. I've tested. Remember, one for test, one for best. So I can always add it, but I can't take it away. So now what I'm going to do is bring the colour in from this side. And this one, this is why I was testing it. I thought, why did that end up green? And I must have had green on my mask, you see. So it just, and because it did. And I thought, well, I don't want a green, although it looks quite nice with it. Then I had to tie it in with the frog, but it wasn't quite where the plan.
We'll call it the frog moon.
Yeah. So then what you do is you watch, as I sweep round, you get a kind of an orb. Yeah. Do you see? So you just stay in there and you see how I'm flicking up like that. And you just get that really, so you don't even bother around her head. Otherwise it's going to go straight through her head. Wow. So that's how you get that effect.
It's so simple, isn't it? Just by adding that little bit there in the
so it's a little bit of depth there. And then the other thing is on here, if you want to add color, you could go in with a pencil, right? Or you can make you can actually go in like that. I'll show you.
So this is where again the low tack tape comes in, because it's not going to lift the ink off, because sometimes you get a low tack tape, you stamp something, you put it on, and then it transfers it all.
I mean, you know, provided that this black ink is dry, then it's great. Right. So you're going to go like that, so like so. So let's say I want a bit of yellow in there to tie that in now. So I'm going to go back to my mustard seed, make sure that I haven't got too much. I can always add it, but I can't take it away. That would be a bit extreme, wouldn't it? Right, and then I'm going to just have a look, because I'm not sure that that's going to be dry. So if I smear, I know what I'm going to get. So, but if I just go in here, just lightly.
So you're just dabbing now.
I am, only because I know that the ink's not completely dry.
Yeah.
If I smear it, well, that's what I'm going to get a smear.
Black smears.
Yeah. So keep it dry, keep it coming. There you go. Dab, dab, dab. Right. That's it. Nice. And then when you lift all that off, you've got your lovely frame as well. So it really works well.
It really does.
And then take that, right, here we go, and going right back to the other where we started, right, you've got that to add on to that, to add on to your card, and you've got yourself a really beautiful
And it's lovely because you can obviously, back in the day when we was used to do pieces of artwork, we, especially with parchment craft, remember we spend all the time colouring it in, and then we never had the right paper, and that's where the design of papers really came in.
This companion paper really,
and then it came in from there as well.
So there you go. That's that one.
Right. Well, I'll have a recap on the A6 square stamp set. So I'm going to come.
How are we doing for time? We're all right.
We're about 10 to 5.
Oh no. Okay. Well, I may have to fast forward to the postcard one.
Okay.
Are you
All
cool
right.
with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So this is our
We've
collection
still got
of...
nearly 700 people in
I
here.
know.
I'm so happy to have your company. What can I say? Many, many thanks.
So what we're looking at here, we're looking at the A6 square. Jim's put the full collection on there, which is where the biggest saving is. Often when we bring products to you, obviously we allow for different budgets, don't we? So so we can go for budgets on if you just want one or two of the individual stamps. But we know from experience, I'm guilty of it myself. It's that addiction, isn't it? I've got to have this, I've got to have all of them. So what we've done, we've got the sprites and the pixies. We've got the two different options. So for each of the collections, you're going to get a £9 saving. Okay. Now, if you're in any of our Clarity Craft Clubs, which are Stamp, Stencil, Groovy, many of you are in a wide number of those that give you gold and diamond status, then you'll get your additional discount. Then we move along and we have a look at our next collection. I love this conveyor belt technology. So now we're looking at the Sprite. So you've got that same collective saving where you're saving £9. However, if you want all of it, I'm just going to move so we go in the middle. You also get your Mandy comes as part of the bundle. Or maybe Mandy is the bundle. So you've got your £9 saving here, your £9 saving here. Mandy's thrown in for fun, and you get that additional £3.50 saving as well. So when you look at that price, £68.16, and this is for the larger size stamps. And just as a comparison, just maybe you're tuning in for the first time, just so that you can see the difference in size of the stamps. Here are the A5, the mini poppets, and if I take that away, you can definitely see the difference in the size of. Let's lift Mandy up. Let's give her a little shout out. There we go. You can definitely see the difference in the size of those. So you've got various different options. You also, what we haven't mentioned is you also get the lovely colour inspiration guide with all of the stamps, whether you go for the A6 square, the A5s. So it gives you some inspiration that when you get it home and you think, I'm not sure about colours, then Marina has very kindly coloured all of this artwork in to give you some inspiration when you do get them home. So I think what we're going to do now is we're now going to move on to the postcards.
Yeah.
So we've got three, I mean, there's more on the website. We've got the brand new ones, which are the sprites and pixies. There we go. And we've also got a bundle where you get the Christmas ones in as well. So should we have a look at some artwork?
I think it's a great idea.
Yeah?
Let's have a look at some artwork. And you'll see here, this is Carol Pankstello. Let me pan out a little tiny bit so you can see the card. Fabulous. Okay, you can see here, these are the postcards. So these are the large images.
Yeah.
We've got Hazel Edwards, gorgeous, with a little bit of mixing it with parchment.
Yeah.
And then we've got a masterpiece by Carol Baker. So you see now, here we've got, say you're a parcher, you're into your groovy, you're not into your stamps. So you treat yourself to the postcards. You are going to be a great colorist if you're a parcher anyway.
Yeah.
You still have the joy of the grid work.
Yeah.
You know, what a great,
absolutely.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Absolutely wonderful. So then we've got, for example, the smaller images. Remember I said there's some of them are
the different
sizes. So you've got, for example, the different sizes
to allow
in the
for
postcards,
doodling and building around,
and for cutting out. So
that's
these are those
our lovely window dies.
I really like these dies.
Well, where have I put, here they are.
These are quite something.
These are lovely.
Yeah.
So we've got these. We launched these earlier in the year.
So check this out. I really, really like these dies. So this die here is this die here. It's literally, look, it's just popped on the side like that. Isn't this brilliant?
Because
right?
they don't have the outside cutting edge.
It can have a cutting edge. Oh,
if you
I don't know if I want to.
Yeah, they're the.
Let me just take this off here. Right, so you can see what I've. That there just cuts that hole out. So it's an aperture die. And then when you've cut it out on that side of the postcard, you cut it out on that side of the postcard. You've got your printed one in the middle.
Yeah.
You colour it in. Christmas sticker. Bob's your uncle, and
Job's
Fanny is your aunt.
There we go. I mean, there's a lovely sort of display board there.
So here you can see all the different possibilities, the apertures. You can sell on their own. Look, the blanks, if you want to do aperture cards. These are quite something, aren't they? So this is this one. This is this one. Go
and the
on,
item code for that one, because we've got a super saving on this one. This is 31645. Should be $34.99, and it's $24.99.
What, for that
For
whole,
the whole set
lot?
of, yeah, because you also get the other different designs as well. I love where you've got the different decorative panels.
So, okay, so this one set,
yeah,
let's get this straight. This one set that gives you that, and that.
all of that.
Right, is how much now?
$24.99.
Plus your
And
club
you get
discount.
your magnetic sheet.
And your magnetic
well.
sheet.
Yeah.
Right, and then out of that,
Yeah.
that yields
Yeah.
this,
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
square ones.
That one.
1, 2, 3, whatever. 1, 2, 3, 8 octagon.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
And my favourite one, the lovely arch.
Ah, the arches, yeah. So you get, wow, that's quite something, isn't it? For openings and apertures.
Yeah. Imagine all
Right.
these lovely little poppets behind them.
Yeah, cool.
Popping out behind the windows.
Popping out. So there you go. So that's a really fantastic set. And
It
I
is.
love just, and then you've got a designer paper in the background, or doodle, what have we got here? Toffee apple paper. You use any of those papers, couldn't you?
Absolutely.
Absolutely marvelous. So that's well worth looking into. Then you've got the girls. There's Sassy Maeve.
Yeah.
And there she is again. Look how different she looks.
I know.
So this again, parchment to hold it in
That
place.
shows these circular grids.
Let's have a look who did that.
Place.
Carol Pankstello. There you go. And then this is interesting. So you've got Debbie McMullen, quite just straightforward colouring in and
Lovely.
trimmed. And then there's the same one, but look how different. Same postcard.
It
Just
looks
done
bigger,
different.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
But it's not. It's exactly the same size.
And then now we're getting a feel for this. So this is that lovely film strip.
Film strip doodle
But
die.
that's actually just dusted with pink.
To bring
And then
yeah.
stamped. That's a postcard. What am I saying?
Yeah.
That's a postcard. That's a small postcard.
Yeah.
These are all postcards now.
Love
Look at that. Amazing what you can do. Postcard.
Yeah, it's so different, isn't it?
Postcard. Postcard. Isn't it great?
Yeah.
Postcard with stickers. Postcard. Postcard. Look at that.
I know.
So that's cut out of a large postcard,
Yeah.
oval, and then framed.
Framed on.
And then just beautifully coloured in.
Yeah.
Sonia
Sonia.
Goodliff, of course. And then this one, Tina Morris. Right, I want to show you this one because I thought, I'm going to grab the... So this is one that Tina did. Absolutely gorgeous. Where did she find these corners? These little guys.
Clever.
So I want to show you this little tiny set. Have we got it? Is it available?
It is on the website, of course it is. Yes.
Is it?
Let me see if I've got the item code for that one for you. I mean, I think it's something like £7.49. It's a ridiculous price for what you get.
What, the mileage?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Christmas.
Okay.
Corner.
Then let's investigate this then. I just want to make sure I'm going to go to that little, right, even though I'm going off at a tangent, I'm going off on stamps.
Yeah.
Because the stamps were used to decorate the postcard.
Yes.
The point being the interchangeability and the mix and match ability.
Yeah. So the item code for that little set of stamps, pop it in your basket, is 11268.
Okay, cool.
$7.49.
Let's just take this. Let me just show you. I'm just gonna use one of our text mounts. I'm going to mount that little snowflake corner, the one that Tina's used here.
Mm-hmm.
She's used it on the 5x7 postcard, just as it comes.
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's used the little stamps. I'll show you. They're in the set as well. There they are. Dish, dosh, dish, dosh. So that's how you infill, right? Yeah. I'm going to show you. Let's go this way, just to keep it simple and keep it moving, just to give you a little trick. Right, so I'm going to ink up. I'm using an archival ink pad, Night Sky. Okay, nice. Night Sky. I think Tina used something lighter Yeah, she definitely did. Okay, or ink
blot plot.
ink blot plot. Maybe she used second generation. So ink it up, turn the paper, make the artwork come to you. Let's just do 2 corners. There you go. Give a little wiggle. Nice. I'm going to take one of my girls.
So
I'm
this
going to
is from the
use
minis.
I'm going to use this little girl here. She's yeah, from the A5 set.
She is, yeah.
So she hasn't got a hat on, which means she's a sprite.
Right. So she is Millie.
Millie. I like Millie.
Millie.
Millie's lovely. So let's just do Millie. Right, ink her up. Right. And I reckon she'll fit in there beautifully. So this is a fabulous little topper. Look. Oh, the joys of transparent stamping. So we'll just pop that in there like so. Lift that off. Perfect. And then we're going to come in here. And now I want to show off. See these tiny little stamps?
Yeah.
Let's take a look. This tiny, tiny little stamp. I'm going to come in a bit tighter so you can actually see the detail on these stamps. So these little snowflake stamps are like that.
Wow.
I know. I rest my case.
It looks printed.
There we are. Look. Should we do a second generation one? Nice. Let's look again. We've got another one here.
It looks as if those snowflakes were designed to work perfectly with this lovely little character.
Yeah. Let's have a look. I'll pop another one there. I don't want to be too busy. Less is more. You know that less is more.
We know
Look,
like with less is more.
look,
It's knowing when to
there.
stop, when you spritz your water.
Yeah, less is more. But then if you add a little bit of colour and a little bit,
Yeah.
and all I've done on this whole little set,
It's
I've
just
only
two.
used the snowflake, and I haven't
Cool.
gone to the holly.
No.
There's a whole other thing here. You've got the holly, and then you've got the words as well, Christmas wishes. So I just wanted to just flag up that little set, because if you're not a stamper, or you want to put a little stocking filler,
It's a little finishing touch, isn't it?
but it's a fantastic little stocking filler.
Yeah.
That with a couple of mounts, boom.
Yeah,
you know, what a
absolutely.
lovely gift for somebody as
that's
well.
how one of the things I started with Clarity was the clever corners, and we have those on the website. I mean, the pattern building, for me, I could spend hours just playing with that, just building patterns.
Exactly.
And you just get lost in it. You really, really do.
It's very, very. So that there you go. That was Tina's artwork that kind of brought me into that. So we've looked at the artwork, and now we're going to do the demo. Okay, so
this one's really clever. Yes.
Right, let's have a look. Thank you. So let's have a look at this. So here we have, right. Let's talk this through, because it's already gone 5 o'clock. Have I lost you now? No. I'll get a wriggle on. So what I need in order to do that is I need the postcard. Here it is. So this is the postcard that's there.
Right.
Okay. So it's not stamped. It's a postcard.
Yeah.
It's exactly there. And then I'm going to take our backdrop stamp, and I'm going to stamp it straight over the top like that. Bang. Right? Like so.
Yeah.
But, and then you know that how I've done that, because we've already had the sticker conversation with the pinky grey. So we put that to one side. So then I've got to put that over the top. Now, the thing is, how do I avoid going straight through? So we already talked about how I can use the wax pencils to create a resist. That works. Although with this amount of saturation, I think we need a proper mask.
Yes.
Okay, so enter our mask situation. Now, thing is, if I take, bear with me a minute, if I take our mask material, right, I've got to, how am I going to cut it? I can't stamp on it. Where am I going to go with it? Right. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, here's the mask material, right? We need this.
Yeah,
to do this
A6
job.
mask material.
But what I'm showing you here, and I did a step-by-step with it yesterday. If you go to barbaragrayblog.com, if you're not quite sure which process this is, you go straight to barbaragrayblog.com, and I've step-by-stepped it exactly. Brilliant. Because this is really for all mixed media, calling all mixed media people, or people that have got other stamps, right? If you've got If you've got a stamp, then what you do is you stamp onto a bit of copy paper,
Mm-hmm.
you peel this off, put it on the copy paper, you can see
Cut
through
it
it.
through. Yeah.
Here, you can't
You
cut
can't
the
cut the
postcard
hair
out.
out, no.
Right. So what we're going to do is use tracing paper
Right.
in the shack. This is all we
Yes.
use. It's
Yeah.
back to that. So
Goes
it's
back to
just a mixed
traditional
media
drawing,
trick.
is it?
If you anything that you want to do, you use these two items together, and what
Yeah.
you'll find is you can mask off anything on canvas, on
Wow.
photograph. This is where you're
Because
working.
I've never seen you do this before until you sent me through the
Instructions.
list of ingredients.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's say I've taken this
Yeah.
and I've cut it into 4 quarters.
4 quarters.
Right.
Yeah.
I've already used one to do the job. So now I'm going to take one of these. This is just the tracing paper. So what I'm going to do, right, is take the tracing paper, bit of low tack tape to hold it in place while I'm working.
Yeah.
Right. So what I want to do is
So if
take
you want
this.
that tracing paper, the code is 30334.
So I've got that now.
Yeah.
Done that. I can set that in place. You don't want it to move while you're working.
No.
Because if it moves, then the trouble with that is it won't be a true cutout, because you've got to cut this out in a minute. Right. So now I'm going to take my micron pens.
Yeah.
Here they are. So this is really the art side of our business.
Yeah.
Okay. This is the bridge to art.
Yeah.
So you've got the masking material, you've got the tracing paper, and you've got these. And when you come in the shack, this is what we use all the time. Okay, so I'm using one of these, using one of those. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to make my cut line. So in other words, I'm going to establish what I'm going to cut out. So I'm just going to take my time, right? Because I'm going to cut a mask out. Yes. So in order to cut a mask out, now you may say, cool, that's a bit of a time suck. Well, yes, it is. But there's a lot of things that take time. The thing about this is that you can use this mask again and again and again, right? So now the other thing about this is you're looking at what is it you want to actually cut out? So that bit there, do you want to cut that out? Or maybe you don't want to cut that out. Maybe you want to come round here and cut that out.
Yeah.
Right? So I won't worry about that little bit. So we'll come round here, right? And then that's hair there, right? Bring so I'm going to come round to there, get my head out of the way. Right. And then I'm going to come round like that. And then, so now I'm going to go onto her hand, right? And then I can see exactly where my outline is going to be. Because I don't want anything else. It's not of interest to me, right? So now I just do that. So if I cut that wrong, then I'm going to come around here. And she's beautiful. This is where you start to see how beautiful the line art actually is when you start doing it. So you're going to come round and you're going to make your mask.
See, I would never have even considered this, because normally when you're working with if it's a postcard, you think, well, you can't create a mask from it, but you can.
You can.
Yeah.
You just cut it out, and then what you do is you let me just show you. Don't worry, I'm not going to make you watch me cut it all out as well. And I'm not going to do it twice either. Right. I've done mine. Right. So, but you can see this is how it works. Right. And you're making your mask now. And you've got to look carefully. What do I want to do? Here's her face. Right. So I'm going to come around here. I'm not going to worry about her hair. I've got her chin. I want that. There's her neck there. Do you see? And that's what I want to cut out.
Right.
But hang on a minute. There's another bit of coat there. So now I'm going to make sure I don't cut that out. See?
Yeah.
So I could take that pencil. I could take that pencil eraser and I could knock out that colour. If I want the little bird, I'll go around that as well. Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Once I've done that, let's just say I've done everything I need to do now. Right. Yeah. So I take that away. And I've got my image. I know it looks a bit weird.
Yeah.
But it's my outline.
But that's what I'm asking.
That's all I want.
Yeah.
Right. So I put that to one side, and now I've got this. So now I take let's put a bit of paper so you can see it better.
Yeah.
Right. Now I've got my mask material.
Yeah.
10 sheets A6.
Yes.
Okay. So what I'll do is I wonder if we've got any big orange scissors. Have we got any bigger orange
scissors?
If we haven't, I'll just use small scissors. Right, it's not a problem. Right, let me just make sure. Right, so what I'm going to do though is this. I'm going to take this. I've got to make sure this is the front. Don't flip it now, because then that will...
Of course, yeah.
Right, so you make sure it's the front. And then you'll take this off here. Once you see it done, it's obvious. Right, that's definitely the front. Make sure that she's looking in the same direction. Then you'll take that off there like so. Right, that'll do. See, I'll cut this off because I wouldn't want to waste it. Right, then I'll lean that on there like so, because I don't need it. I don't need more of it, like that. See?
Yeah.
Now I've got that. Craft knife, scissors, whatever. Let me just take these scissors. I've got what I'm using what I've got, right? That's okay. This will do. You use what you've got. It's all right, Jilly, I'm on it. Thank you, love. Right, so I've got that.
Yeah.
I've done that. And now I'm going to cut this out.
Right.
So all you do now is you take a good pair of little scissors, you settle down for 5 minutes, and you cut out the tracing paper image. And at the same time, you cut out on the line and you go through. So if you're working on larger mixed media pieces, then maybe you want to treat yourself to the A5 masking tape.
Yeah.
Right? But basically, you're going to go around here and you're going to cut out your mask. Okay.
Yeah.
So once you've done that.
So you're doing this with the tracing paper because we're using the postcard.
Yeah.
And if you was doing it with a stamp,
you'd stamp it on a bit of copy paper, and then if I were doing it on a stamp, I'd stamp it on a bit of. You want it to be thin copy paper. Don't think that you're doing this. It's too thick to cut.
Yeah.
So you want it thin. Tracing paper is good to cut. Copy paper is good to cut.
Yeah.
And that's exactly how you would do it. So say you exactly that. It's a good point. If you were going to stamp this, then you would just take the stamp, for example, here. You'd stamp onto the, say I want to make a mask of the flower.
Yeah.
I stamp that onto there. Waste not, want not. I only want that little bit.
Yeah.
Right. Then I take the masking material here.
Just a little bit there.
I just need that little bit there, like so, let's say. That was a bit daft. Right. That goes on there like so.
Exactly.
And then what you've ended up with is exactly the same, basically. Call my eyesight. I think it's an age thing. Right. There you go. There you go. I have got them with me. Right. So you pop that on there, and that, in effect, is exactly the same as that.
Yeah.
Except it looks a lot more appealing because you can actually see the info. Right. Well, I'm not. Whatever.
Yeah.
It's the outside that I'm after. Right. So that's how you make it for stamps, and that's how you do it for any other size. Anything. Anything from a magazine. Anything that you've drawn.
Yeah.
You know. So then once you've got that, now we go to this. So I've got this little girl. Right, I've already done this. I could take this, I could pop this on here. Yeah, see? So you go like that, go like that. Tweezers are always good for this kind of thing. And even if it's not perfect, I tell you what, you're not going to get an orb running straight through her body either, are you?
No.
So I want two frames of reference. I've got her foot and her wing up there, and that will do. Wow. That's good enough. Right, so now you've got that in place. I chopped her wing off, but that's okay. I could pop that back in. So now I've got that. So that's going to be protected.
Yeah.
Yep. I've got her little bird. There you go. So now that's protected. And, you know, once I've done this, it goes on the carrier sheet, on the wax carrier sheet. I can use it again and again and again.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that's done. Now enter this. Have we got time to do this as well? And then we'll call it a day, eh? So now we've got these two. Love this. You saw loads of artwork with these.
Yeah, so with the backdrop stamps, they come in various different shapes. So you've got
your
square and sizes. So you've got your squares, your circles, your ovals, your rectangles, and your hearts.
Yeah.
And they come as a pair of two.
Yeah.
Okay. So you've actually got a saving on them. So you're going to get those. Where's my piece of paper gone? And the backdrop stamps, instead of paying £17.99
For both of them.
for both of them, they're £14.99.
For both
You've got
of
a free
them.
pack for both.
So for £14.99 plus your club discount,
Club
you get this one and that one.
Yes. Yeah.
15. That's good.
Yeah.
There you go. So let's have a look at this little fella. Right. And then I've got my 3 colours. I'm going Distress Oxides because I want to, right. I want to add a bit of spritz.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've got my 3 Distress Oxides. Bearing in mind, what we're trying to do is put this in the background like that. So before I start, maybe I want to decide. You see, on that one, if I were doing this little girl, I might want to put it there. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're changing. It really does change the look. I could do it on a large one. I could put it right there. Do you see?
So it creates like a halo.
A halo.
Yeah.
Thank you. So this is, to my mind, these were a brilliant way to present this art.
Yes.
Because this would work on all the stamp stuff.
Mm-hmm.
You know how to cut the masks out
Yeah.
now. All the postcards, absolutely perfect.
Yeah.
The shapes as well, the square, the round.
The
you know?
ovals would be lovely because you've got that lovely.
Yeah.
An oval
Yeah.
always looks
But
really
if you
nice.
don't want to stamp straight through the colour, straight
Yeah.
through the girl, then now you know how to make the mask as well.
Yeah.
So let's go back to where I was. Right. And I'll use a bit of copy paper for this job. There we are. And I'll show you. So we need copy paper. We need 3 colours. I need a spot-on sponge. I've got them here. It's all right. I'm all over it. Spot-on sponge and water. Right. I just got a spritzer bottle. So what we'll do is we'll put the colour on, Distress Oxides, a bit of that. That's a scattered straw. Then I'm going to go saltwater taffy in the middle. So a bit of that as well. Smear a bit of that on there. Actually, a bit more of that. Right. And then let's do a little bit of picked raspberry. Why did I always think it said pickled raspberry? I bet I'm not the only one. Right. So I've got a bit of picked raspberry, saltwater. It's 3-way, isn't it?
Lovely colours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now you could actually leave it like that and then just, or
Yeah.
you can take your, look, here we go again. These are great for blending colour.
So the spot on sponge, I mean, these are fantastic quality. I remember you saying that back in the day, where every time you went back to the States,
Yeah.
you would take empty suitcases
we
and
did.
then come back with them.
Yeah.
So what we've got here, you can buy them individually with the spot on sponges, which is 30537. So they're $3.49. However, if you go for 4 packs, it's 4 for the price of 3.
So
and
you get
item code is 31215.
You get all of those.
Yeah.
So that's 1632, 64
64,
pieces.
and that will be £10.46 plus your craft club discount.
Is that all?
Yeah. Bargain.
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 Right. So now let's have a look. We've got all the colour we want. And if you want to add a bit more, right, you can go in, you can go direct,
Yeah.
and you can bring it in like so. What I find as well, right, I may regret this because I cleaned this off completely. Normally what I do is I let the colours sit. So what my only concern is that now it may suck onto the card, but I'm about to find out. Okay, I'm about to find out. Is that the one that I've done?
You just covered her up, yeah.
Yeah. But I didn't make a little box. Where's my little box? I did have it. Where's my, bear with me.
Carrier sheet there.
All right, I've lost the little colour for that, but do you know what? I can't.
You can always just go in.
I'm going to use a pink, a real bright pink to cover. I'm using the wax idea on that one.
To create the resist.
It's got to be done. Right, let's have a look. And I've got a bit of yellow. I've got a bit of gap. See, the thing is, you can, so I just smeared it. Right, that'll do. Let's get this done. Let's get it done so we can have some tea. Hey? Right, so we've done that. We've done that. Now, Bassa. Okay.
I'll stand back.
So 1, 2, 3.
Is there a 1, 2, 3?
I'll give it a go. 1, 2, 3.
Stop.
Okay. A little bit of water. Right, let's have a look. Okay. A little bit of water. Don't want to saturate it because this is, yeah.
Because you've got that gully. That's a beautiful.
So now, do you want it? Oh, Barbara, do you want it there? Do you want it there? Where do you want it? Let's go over here, shall we?
I reckon.
Okay, we'll go over here and then see what happens. Right, so we pop that down and then we'll move it round, right, and you can see it squelching. See?
Yeah, I suppose it's squelching on the resisting on the mask material,
Exactly.
isn't it, as well?
So I can't get a good, because it's, so if I take a bit of copy paper, sorry, going to be white, I can rub that better.
Yes.
It's like a baron, if you
Yeah.
like, right? So I do that. That should work well. Now let's see if this has worked. I'm going to go all the way around. It's the mask that I'm interested in, isn't it?
Mm.
So if I lift that off, it's good enough.
Yeah.
Right, and then I'm going to take my
Tweezers.
No, I'm going to, first of all, before I do anything else, I'm just going to, because I can see I've missed a bit there, so I can pull the ink in over her head, right? Because while the mask's in place, I can still do a bit of dot. See, so that little bit that I missed,
where it missed a little bit,
there, not a problem. So we've got all those bits, done all that, nice, right? Got everything we wanted, didn't we? Right, okay. And then when we've done that, then we can peel this off. Let's have a look. There it is.
Wow.
That's that. Put that back on its carrier sheet.
Yeah, because you're never going to keep that again, aren't you?
We're going to use that again.
Yeah.
Right. So we've got the only thing I've seemed to have mislaid is the little box, but that's okay. I can cut that one out again. There you go. And once you've done that, then the only other thing left to do is colour it in.
Wow.
And a little bit of grounding down the bottom. Bob's your uncle.
Yeah. Look at that.
There you go.
That is magical.
So it's just a question. Well, it's just a way of making a mask so that then when you go in with your colour, you're not fighting the back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Otherwise, you're just fighting the colour.
Because I'd never even think about that. Stamping and creating your own mask with the mask material makes perfect sense. But how do you create a mask with something that's already pre-printed?
So that brings us to the end of the demos.
Wow.
I think we've gone 20 minutes over the end, but who?
Doesn't matter.
We're in charge of the cameras.
Absolutely.
So there you go. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that you enjoyed that. If you want to look at the way that that mask was created, then go to barbaragrayblog.com.
Yeah.
Other than that,
you're back tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock. Yeah, L. We're on the letter L.
Not same time, but same place.
Same place. We've got till then to mop this lot up.
Yeah. YouTube page and our Facebook pages. We'll always put an event notice out there, so you can obviously sign up to that and just make sure you're made aware of that. But yeah,
thank you very, very much. Thank you, Paul. Thank you all the team, everybody on the phone lines,
all the behind the
scenes,
and
Jim, everybody. Yeah, it's been a big team effort.
It has, really
much appreciated. And more than anything, we really thank you for joining us and supporting us during these turbulent times. But more will be revealed. And as far as Clarity is concerned, it's business as usual. We're living in the solution and we're live in the solution. So thanks again. Do we switch us off or does Jim switch us off?
Jim's probably got the power.
Bye.